Hawks are undefeated on home ice, 2 wins and 3 ties in 5 outings in the regular season. And the Blackhawks won 3 games here in the exhibition also. So the home fans have seen a lot of points from the Blackhawks in 8 games so far, including regular season and preseason. The Hawks have won 5 and tied 3 here on home ice at the stadium. Last week, the Blackhawks played well in their 3 victories and 3 starts, defeating Washington, Minnesota, and Boston. This week, horse of a different color. Chicago played to a disappointing 2-2 tie with the Washington Caps here Wednesday when Washington came from 2 goals down to tie it and earn a point here at the stadium, and last night the 7-2 loss to the Detroit Red Wings at Olympia. Blackhawks overall lead the Smythe division, 3-1-3, 9 points. 2 better than Vancouver and St. Louis. Vancouver playing tonight on the road at Philadelphia. The St. Louis Blues have the night off. Chicago with 2 games in hand on both the Canucks and the St. Louis Blues. The Vancouver Canucks will be here at the stadium Wednesday for a Smythe division showdown. The Montreal Canadiens are not off to their usual jackrabbit start. They started well. They won their first 3. Since then, though, Montreal 1-3-1 in their last 5. Canadians have been hurting relatively on defense. It's a problem for Montreal relatively for everybody else in the league. They'd be happy with the defense Montreal shows. But Brian Engblom, the youngster from the University of Wisconsin, is out for another 2 or 3 weeks with a broken jaw sustained in the exhibition. Bill Nyrop, the American kid who attended Notre Dame, he retired unexpectedly in the exhibition, just hung up his skates at age 24 and decided to cash in his chips. Nyrop retired. Butch Bouchard is also retired from hockey. Montreal left him unprotected in the waiver draft. He was claimed by Washington. Montreal tried to get him back under the table. That didn't work, so Bouchard, who wants to play hockey in only one place, in La Belle Province with the Canadiens, he has retired at least temporarily from the game of hockey. Guy Lafleur has not been happy. Well, not till earlier this week when he signed a new multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract. Lafleur and his agent thought that he was underpaid, and he probably was. Considering his credits, he's been the MVP the last 2 years in the NHL, and also the scoring champ the last 2 seasons, and he's led Montreal to 3 straight Stanley Cups. So Lafleur has signed a new contract, and he played well last night, one of the few Canadians to do so, as Montreal lost at home, and that is a rarity in hockey. The New York Rangers beat Montreal at the Forum last night 2-1. Canadians' first loss on home ice this season. Consider their record last year at the Forum, 32-4-4, the best in the National Hockey League. So seldom do the Canadians lose at home. The Blackhawks taking the ice. We'll be back with the starting lineup, the officials, and a special pregame presentation on the ice following this message. At Dick McFeely Pontiac, you can order a brand new '79 Pontiac Grand Prix for only $43.97. Now you've seen the new Grand Prix. Now is your chance to own one for only $43.97 with full factory equipment. So order yours today along with additional options galore. AM/FM stereo, 8-track, power windows, a sunroof, digital clock. Whatever you want on a Grand Prix, you can get it at Dick McFeely Pontiac, 5300 North Broadway. So the Blackhawks look to bounce back here on home ice, Bud Kelly. They played a poor game last night, but they roared out of the gate, the 3-0-3, and you knew that first defeat had to be lurking somewhere in the shadows, and it happened last night in Detroit, 7-2 to the Red Wings. And Detroit is a hot hockey club, but they are 3-0-3 in their last 6 games. In fact, Detroit is first in the Norris division, ahead of the Montreal Canadiens by 2 points coming into this. Canadians take the ice, but how about those starting lineups?
Okay, let's check them out, Andy. Both teams are out there now. Andy mentioned the special presentation, which will be made in a moment. Ken McKenzie, the president and publisher of the Hockey News, will present an award to Bob Pulford, honoring him as Coach of the Year, so determined by the Hockey News last year. For the visiting Montreal Canadiens, in goal, Ken Dryden. The defenders will be Serge Savard and Larry Robinson. The Doug Jarvis line will start, winged on the left by Bob Gainey and on the right by Rick Chartraw. For the home team, the Chicago Blackhawks in goal for the 8th consecutive game this year, Tony Esposito. His defenders to start will be Dave Logan. And Bob Murray will start with the Jim Harrison line. He'll center for Grant Mulvey on the right and Bob Kelly on the left.
As we've said, we'll have a special presentation on the ice. Bob Pulford, the coach and general manager of the Blackhawks, was picked as Coach of the Year by the Hockey News. And let's go down to the ice where Ken McKenzie of the Hockey News will have a special presentation to Bob Pulford.
Ken McKenzie will make a special presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all you rabid Chicago Blackhawk fans, every year for the past 30 years, the editors of the Hockey News, the International Hockey Weekly, have selected the outstanding player, coach, and executive in all of hockey. And in 1977-78, they selected a man who in his first year as coach of the Blackhawks led the team to the Smythe Division first place with more points than ever before. It gives me a great deal of pleasure tonight to present the Hockey News Award as the outstanding coach for 1970-78 to Bob Pulford.
A fine ovation for Bob Pulford as he is presented the Hockey News Coach of the Year Award by Ken McKenzie on the ice. And there certainly are a lot of people here to applaud Bud Kelly. Standing room only at Chicago Stadium. They're literally hanging from the rafters to see the Hawks and the Canadiens tonight.
It looks like the scene we had exactly 1 week ago when the Bruins were here, and I just hope that the Blackhawks play as they did 1 week ago tonight against the Bruins.
One slight exception to that Bruins scene. There are more people here tonight. This game is a sellout. Just about ready for our national anthem from Chicago Stadium. Last Sunday, the Blackhawks defeated the Bruins 6-5 in a thrilling, exciting, anything-can-happen hockey game, and I'm sure the fans here, as is this broadcaster, is looking for a repeat of that exciting evening of hockey. Descriptions or play-by-play without the express written consent of Blackhawk Properties is prohibited. By the way, Ken McKenzie of the Hockey News will be our second intermission guest from the stadium tonight. The referee for this evening's game, Dave Newell, Leon Stickle, and Ray Scampanello are the linesmen. Tim Harrison to take the opening draw against Doug Jarvis of Montreal. First of 4 meetings between these clubs in the regular season. Referee Newell is ready, as are the centermen Grant Mulvey and Bob Gainey exchanging little pushes with a stick, and we're underway. Canadians win the draw. Serge Savard across for Robinson, centering for Jarvis, turning at the Montreal line, clearing it back to Savard. Now to Robinson, who won the Norris Trophy as the league's top defenseman 2 years ago. Shot into the Hawk zone. Esposito there. We have a whistle, and we'll have a penalty right off the bat. Let's see who goes to the box here. Logan over to talk with the referee Newell, and Logan will be the man penalized as he was caught for an infraction at the Chicago line. A little sparring right before the face-off between Gainey and Mulvey as they lined up for the draw. Logan gets a roughing penalty as he gave a Montreal forward a shot as the Canadians cleared the puck into Chicago ice. Tony Esposito, the Blackhawk goaltender, as Bud said, his 8th consecutive game. Mike Beiser has not played so far in the young season. Montreal with an early power play, and they have a potent one. They send out Jacques Lemaire at center ice. Robinson moves up to a right wing. Yvon Lambert on the left side. Now it's stolen by J.P. Bordeleau. A shot. He hit the side of the net. Bordeleau walked in, stole the puck from the Montreal defense, triggered a shot, and it hit the side of the goal. Dryden was beaten on the shot along the ice.
Looked like the one that we thought Makita put in a few games ago. Just in the corner. So an early Hawk threat. Just a little bit off the mark. A minute 45 left on the Logan roughing penalty. Face-off to the left of the Montreal goal.
Lemaire winning a draw up the left wing board for Lambert. Kept in by Keith Magnuson, who's back in the Hawk lineup tonight. Stolen by John Marks, doing some good penalty killing out at the blue line for Russell. A high shot. That hit J.P. Bordeleau, and Montreal starts back with a power play. Lapointe guns it off the fireboards into the near corner for Lambert. Lambert takes the check from Magnuson. They push and shove. Now it's kicked loose by Robinson. Back is J.P. Bordeleau. It's kept in by Lapointe. He guns a shot. Esposito with the save, and he starts out to cover up on the rebound. Dave Logan off for roughing at 17 seconds, and the Blackhawks already look better tonight than they did through the 60 minutes of play in Detroit last night. Chicago was just out of the game almost from the opening draw, although they were down only 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Detroit really did a number on the Hawks last night. Lemaire winning a draw. Back to the point. Gila point a shot. Stick save by Esposito. Puck to the near corner. Magnuson looking to clear. He lost his stick as Lambert hit him. A shot from the point. Blocked by Phil Russell in front. He and Lambert collide in the corner now. J.P. Bordeleau springs it loose for John Marks. Marks walking in, firing a shot. Gila Fleur just off the bench. Blocked that up and went out of play.
That brings us down to 54 seconds left on Logan's penalty. Blackhawks looking good so far. As far as the power play is concerned, Montreal gets it in about 1 out of every 4 shots. They've had 25 opportunities so far in this young season, and they've scored 6 power play goals in those 25 advantages. 54 seconds left. Penalty to Logan. Roughing early. 17 seconds after the game got underway. Face-off down in the Montreal zone, almost straight up the slot near the blue line.
Montreal lost that last night at the Forum, and that's a rare occurrence. They were defeated by the New York Rangers 2-1. And so the Canadians will be a bit sour tonight. They'll try to take their frustrations out against the Blackhawks. Lafleur in across the line. He's checked. The puck cleared to John Marks in the far corner, flicking it down the length of the rink. Excellent penalty killing so far by the Hawks. The only Montreal offensive opportunities. Gila Point, a couple of shots from the left point. Now Steve Shotton on left wing. Winding up, firing, tried the short side. Esposito made the save. It comes out to J.P. Bordeleau. Bordeleau through center. He lost the puck, shut off with it. He scored 60 goals 2 years ago. Shot in across the line, firing a shot. Marks blocked that. Kept in by Lafleur, giving it to Lapointe. In the slot for shot, banged out to center by Keith Magnuson. Now Lafleur starts back late in the Montreal power play. A high head-hunting shot over the Chicago net. Off to Bobby Orr. Orr can't clear. Kept in by Mondu. Mondu poke check. Now Cliff Coyle back for Chicago. Sliding in on left wing against Lafleur. Coyle trying to center. Now Mondu back to the Montreal net. Around to the boards. Orr keeps it in. Now Cliff Coyle at the head of the right circle. Gunning it back to the net. Dryden didn't control. Kept in by Ted Bully. Centering pass. Gila Point there to clear it on the near wing where Schutt golfs it down the length of the rink. We'll have an icing call against Montreal as Doug Wilson is back to touch. 17-12 remaining. First period. Chicago has killed off an early penalty. Blackhawks nothing. Canadians nothing. And Montreal is off to a rugged start for them. Be a great start for the Colorado Rockies or Vancouver Canucks, but for Montreal fans, they're panicking up there. The press is on Scotty Bowman's back already. Canadians are only 4-3-1 in second place, 2 points behind Detroit in the Norris. Detroit and Montreal meet at Olympia head-on Wednesday, and they'll be hanging from the rafters and backed up at the doorway. Here's Orr, a quick shot from the point. He keeps in his own rebound, maneuvering, taking a high drive. The puck loose in front. Bully a backhand shot. Dryden flops on that. It comes loose to the point. Kept in by Orr. Orr tried to give it to Boldirev. Now Orr is taken down. We'll have a Montreal penalty the upcoming. Mark Napier tripping Bobby Orr. And Chicago will get the power play. With a score, Blackhawks nothing, Canadians nothing. Let's pause for this message.
When you say Budweiser, remember the moment is right for the great beer. When you say Budweiser, whenever the good times are moving to right here. After the work is done, while you're still having fun, the king of beers is waiting for you. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Mark Napier, the WHA refugee and Montreal Canadian rookie, picks up a tripping minor to give the Hawks the power play. Time of the minor, 3:08. Napier pulled the props out from under Bobby Orr. Bob Murray on the Chicago power play ahead for Ivan Boldirev, the Hawks leading scorer, in off the left boards, too far for Bully. Dryden ranging out of his net. Now Coral keeps it in for Boldirev in the left corner. Walking down the boards, back to the blue line. Wilson slaps it toward the net. Montreal breaking out. Bob Gainey, their ace penalty killer, dumps it on the boards. Gainey won the Frank Selke Trophy last year as the best defensive forward in the NHL. The first time that award has been given. Now Cliff Coral fanned on a pass at the Hawk line. Serge Savard fires it in behind the Chicago net. Chicago nothing, Montreal nothing. 4 minutes gone in the first period from the stadium. Doug Wilson to Murray, ahead for Boldirev, up the left wing for Bully. Broken up at the Canadian line by Guy Lapointe. Cleared in behind the Chicago net as Murray gives it for Alain Degg, who's out as a fresh right winger, replacing Cliff Coral. Now Boldirev behind the net. Boldirev ahead for Degg. Alain Degg, who played well last night in Detroit, motors in across the line. Try to drop pass. Stolen there by Rejean Houle. He fired it out to center. Orr out on the right point now. Wilson sends it ahead. Darcy Rhoda couldn't control. In wide of the Montreal goal. Savard there. Rhoda hit him on the boards. Degg after the puck. Now Lapointe looking to clear. Kept in by Degg off for Rhoda. Left corner. Chicago on the power play. Rhoda lost it to Houle. In back of the Montreal goal. Makita there. Giving it to Degg. Degg turning. He has Rhoda in front. Giving it to Makita now. Makita stripped to the puck by Lapointe. And he fires it out to center where Wilson knocks the puck down with his glove. Ahead for Orr. Orr in on the near wing. Orr at the circle. Now into the slot. Firing a shot. Oh, Dwight made the save. It's centered by Rhoda to Degg. Degg can't get a shot away. Orr just failed to score as Dryden made the save, and the puck trickled in past him. Now Makita walking in. Backhand shot. Dryden with a stop. Makita centers. It comes off to Rhoda's shot. Dryden with a stop kept in by Makita. Backhander. Dryden was down, but he made the stop. Excellent pressure. Montreal has now killed off the penalty. An icing call against the Canadiens. Chicago did everything but put the puck in the net.
Came very close on a couple of occasions, but it's still a scoreless hockey game. A power play for each squad so far in the early going here at the stadium. 14:32 remaining in the first period. Logan went off for roughing. Napier went off for tripping. Neither team could capitalize on the one-man advantage up to this point. When we get back to business and the Hawks really look like they mean business tonight, the face-off will be to the left of Dryden down in the Montreal zone. Harrison is ready and waiting.
Good chances for Bobby Orr, Alain Degg, and Stan Makita on that flurry late in the Chicago power play. Ken Dryden, the Montreal goaltender, used his size to good advantage there. Dryden was down on his knees most of that flurry, Bud, and on his knees he's about as tall as Mike Weiser is standing on his skates. Don't forget the Blackhawks take on the Vancouver Canucks here Wednesday at 7:30. Vancouver in town. Tickets available at Ticketron and at the stadium box office noon to 6 daily at Gate 2 on Madison Street. Van Cornway flips it in. Could be an icing. Magnuson back against Steve Shutt. Good hustle by Magnuson. Mulvey helped to cut off Steve Shutt there as Magnuson was back for the icing. Well, Keith Magnuson was like a caged tiger last night in Detroit, not in the lineup. We again prevailed upon him for a between periods interview, and Maggie, of course, as usual, said yes. Not dressed for the Hawks tonight. Forwards Reggie Curran, Ted Higgins, with defenseman Doug Hicks. So Bob Pulford goes with 6 defense and 11 forwards this evening. Harrison on the draw with Jarvis to the right of Dryden after the Montreal icing. Here's Chartres out on defense, checked by Harrison. Chicago forcing the issue. Harrison looking to center. Puck stolen by Robinson of Montreal out on the fire wing, leading a three-man rush across. Bill Russell played the body and bumped Robinson off the play. Now Kelly back of the net. He is hit there by Jarvis, and they exchange pushes. A feisty start to this hockey game as Harrison tries to headman for Magnuson. He took an elbow from Steve Schutt. No penalty call there as Schutt lost his helmet. Now Chartres starts it back. Harrison broke up the play. The Montreal captain, Cournoyer, drops it for Robinson. Ahead for Lafleur. Lafleur, a clever move. Sending in the Roadrunner. Cournoyer, backhand shot. Esposito off the cut down the angle. Made a diving save on Ivan Cournoyer. Now it's dumped to center by Chicago as Montreal had a good scoring chance there with Lemaire doing his tricks in center. Now he sends off Cournoyer again. Ivan faked the shot. Lambert was in offside. Up the left wing. 13:24 to go. First period, Chicago nothing. Montreal nothing. Each team has had a power play. Now Guy Lafleur apparently is satisfied now after signing a new contract. He renegotiated his contract. That's something I don't think Sam Pollock would have done if he were still in charge of the Montreal club, although the media pressure to keep Guy Lafleur happy and productive, and the fan pressure in Montreal probably tremendous on Al McNeil and the new hierarchy in the Montreal organization. They rule by committee now in Montreal. Sam Pollock no longer making the decisions. McNeil, Claude Ruel, Ron Caron and company making those decisions, and they are excellent hockey men. I make no doubt about it. Montreal never a one-man operation in the front office. All those people have great experience. Lupien back to the Montreal goal. It's stolen by Marks. Marks looking to center. Lupien jams it into the boards. Pierre Mondu joining the pile. Now Lupien triggering it ahead on the right wing for Cam Connor. Connor dumped it in too far for Lambert. Skate race again. J.P. Bordeleau there to touch it. Icing on Montreal. And very seldom do you see this many icing calls against the Montreal club at any point in a hockey game. We played just over 7 minutes. There must have been 4 icing calls on Montreal. And they're one of the best passing hockey clubs in the game. They like to headman the puck. That's the characteristic of their style, and very seldom do you see them ice the puck as they have tonight. So that means Chicago's putting on good pressure. Nikita falling down. A quick shot. We have a penalty coming up on Montreal. Nikita was taken down. The Blackhawks get the power play. Nothing hockey game. Let's pause for this word.
If you and your family are beginning to suffer from the dull dinner doldrums, stop by the deli at your neighborhood Dominic's for delicious alternatives. Surprise your family with tangy Old World Sladkowski Polish sausage. It's a great imported flavor at a down-home country price. Only $1.79 a pound. And this weekend, treat the whole family to a tasty Agar, Dubuque, or Corn King 5-pound canned ham. It's $1.50 off with a coupon in the store. At Dominic's, Chicagoland's most complete food stores.
John Marks giving it to Makita. Makita back to Marks in the left corner. Hawks with their second power play. Marks lost the puck, and now Jarvis shoots it past Russell out to center ice. Phil Russell into a Hawk zone, manning the point along with Bobby Orr. Now to John Marks, who got off to such a hot scoring start for Chicago with 4 goals in the first 4 games. Marks, by the way, playing his 400th consecutive NHL game, and that's quite a streak, but it pales a bit in comparison to Gary Unger's of over 800 with the St. Louis Blues. So Marks has a way to go to catch Mr. Unger. Nikita back, giving it to Orr. Orr breaking in right wing. Drop pass for Nikita. Big shot. Dryden with a stick save. Russell from the point. Dryden blocked that with his stick glove. Now Marks in front. He can't handle for a shot. As Savard clears it, now Jarvis, a long shot from center. Esposito with a skate save. Montreal changing penalty killers. Chicago coming out. Marks giving it to Boldirev. 57 seconds remaining on the Montreal penalty. As Mondu is off for hooking, he pulled down Stan Mikita in the Montreal zone. Chicago starting back. Blackhawks nothing, Canadiens nothing in the first period. Ahead for Phil Russell. And across for Coral. That hit his skate. Now back into the Chicago zone. Orr there, pressured by Réjean Houle. Orr in back of the net. Coming out on the fire wing. Orr looking to headman, holding on. He gives it to Russell, and Russell couldn't handle the pass. Chicago Chicago having trouble moving the puck out of their own end. Now Bully on the left wing in center. Bully is poke checked. Here's Lemaire walking in all alone. Lemaire moving in front. Shooting, he missed the net. Lemaire had the goaltender down, waited too long to shoot the puck. Now back on the point, Gila point. His shot deflected wide by Russell. Good break as Lemaire lost control there as he pulled Tony Esposito down. Now it trickles into the Montreal zone. The Canadians clear it. Out of the box comes Mondu, and Montreal has killed off their second penalty. Or back for Chicago. Or through center, ahead for Phil Russell, giving it to Coral. He deflects it into the left corner, Canadian zone. Robinson there, tied up by Coral. Coral trying to give it to Boldirev, a scramble in front. Dryden clears the puck to the near boards. Now it's shot out to center by Risebrough. Coming off to Murray on the Hawk defense. Now Dave Logan dumps it in near corner. Knocked down by Robinson. He clears it on the left wing for Napier. Napier cutting to the right wing and across the Hawk line. Cornwallis was offside on the near wing. 10:06 remaining, first period. Chicago nothing, Montreal nothing, and 100% improvement here from last night's effort in Detroit by the Blackhawks.
Fortunately or unfortunately, whichever. I didn't get an opportunity to watch the game last night. I'm glad, I think, the way it turned out 7-2. We do look a lot better than we did the last home game here against Washington this past Wednesday. So if we can hold on, we're with them so far.
Again, not playing for Chicago tonight, Reggie Kerr, Tim Higgins, and Doug Hicks. We'll give you the Montreal scratches in just a moment, as I know a lot of people are interested in who's not playing as well as who's on the ice. Mark Napier in the Montreal end, behind for Robinson, both clubs at full strength. Just under 10 minutes to go first period. Risebrough coming out on the right wing. Risebrough in across. Risebrough back pass for Robinson. Now out on the point for Chartrand. Juggling save by Esposito. The puck in back of the net. Cornwallis, backhand shot. He missed the goal. Cornwallis jams it into the slot. Well covered there was Mark Napier, though. Kept in by Robinson. He takes a hard check from Logan. Logan in back of the goal. Harrison joining the pile to give Cornwallis a crack. They scrambled along the boards back of the Hawk net. Montreal trying to set up a play in front. Risebrough put it in front of the net. Esposito is there to cover it for the club, and now we've got fisticuffs going as Dave Logan is all over Doug Risebrough. Grant Mulvey has a stranglehold on Mark Napier. Logan barreled into a pile along the boards and administered a heavy check to about three players at once. Group check, if you will.
Logan was our guest up here this past Wednesday between the second and third periods, and was a very good guest, I thought. He seems to be having more fun tonight, though. He's going to the penalty box right at this particular moment, as Ken said, taking on the majority of the Montreal Canadiens all by himself in the far corner behind Tony Esposito's net. So Dave Logan is on his way in. Maybe if we get a microphone down there, we can interview him from here.
I think we'll pass on that.
I think maybe we should. That's the second trip in tonight.
So Logan is off to an aggressive start. Another roughing minor. Logan gave Doug Risebrough a rough ride. So Logan picks up his second minor. By the way, we'll open up the telephones during the first intermission. Bud Kelly will field the telephone calls. 329-1600, area code 312, the number. Give us a call with your hockey question or comment during the first intermission. Ken McKenzie of the Hockey News will be our second intermission guest. So the Hawks are shorthanded for the second time, 9:17 to go first period. 0-0, the Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens. Busy schedule last night in the NHL. 8 games, the maximum amount. The only team idle, the Philadelphia Flyers in the 7-team NHL for 78-79. Philadelphia playing tonight, though, trailing the Vancouver Canucks at the Spectrum 3-2. Pittsburgh leading the New York Rangers 1-0 after 1 at Madison Square Garden. So only 3 games in the NHL this Sunday. Hawks bring it in. Bordeleau ahead for Marks. The deflection. Dryden made the save, and Dryden has been called upon a number of times shorthanded and on the power play to make the stops. Flicked in toward the Chicago goal. Esposito making the save. Esposito around the boards for Marks. It's kept in on the point by Lafleur. He takes a low drive. Esposito in heavy traffic made the save. Now it's kept in by Schutt. His drive deflected off Robinson's skate just wide. Bordeleau tried to battle it out to center. It's sent back on the point, and Gila Point couldn't keep it in. Blackhawks have had 2 good chances shorthanded. Bordeleau in the first minute of play, and now John Marks on a deflection from Bordeleau. Chicago had their best opportunities late in a power play with Nikita, Alain Degg, and Bobby Orr all testing Ken Dryden. Lafleur knocked it down in center ice with a high stick. It will have a face-off way back in Montreal ice. Canadians with the power play. Logan off for roughing, a minute 9 left in his penalty.
8:26 to go in the period. Face-off will be to the left of Dryden. Bordeleau will do the job for us. Minute and 9 seconds left on Logan's second roughing penalty of the game. 8:26 to go. First period, we're scoreless. Waiting for that puck to drop to the left of Dyke. Here we go.
Bordeleau bangs a shot in wide of the net. Now Marks after it on the fireboards. Réjean Houle there out on the Montreal power play. Near corner for Lafleur in the Montreal end. J.P. Bordeleau forcing the issue, bottling up the play. Now Mondeau takes command. Pierre Mondeau, the man with the golden locks. You can't see them, though. They're obscured by his blue Montreal helmet. Ahead for Lafleur. Lafleur carries it on right wing. Lafleur down the boards. Marks bothering him. Now Russell pins him out of the play along the boards as J.P. Bordeleau tries to clear. Kept in by Savard. His big shot missed the net. Held in by Lafleur along the right boards. He backs up to the blue line. Lafleur into the slot. Right wing pass too far for Houle. Russell pins it off the boards down the length of the rink. Standing room only at Chicago Stadium. They've seen a good effort from the Blackhawks so far. Lafleur in a cross. Montreal 3 abreast. Lafleur is shot. That's blocked in front by Orr. Orr taking Mondeau into the corner boards, and they hold for a face-off. Good work by Orr clearing the slot. You're listening to the Voice of Labor, AM 10 WCFL Chicago. Andy MacWilliams and Bud Kelly with you from Chicago Stadium. Blackhawks will be home a week from tonight, Bud, against the St. Louis Blues. And the Blues have exploded offensively this year. They've scored 42 goals in 9 games, and at least they're exciting. They've given up 53, but they've scored 42.
Well, you'll get a chance to check them out the night before down there in St. Louis in a home-and-home series. You'll have all the inside by the time they get back here for Sunday the 5th of November. This is the end of October. It was kind of weird driving into the stadium in the dark now that Standard Time has moved in on us again. 11 seconds left on Logan's penalty.
St. Louis sporting 3 of the 5 top scorers in the NHL. Very entertaining hockey club. Back on the point, big shot by Robinson went wide. Chicago trying to kill off the waning seconds of this penalty. Out toward the point, Robinson swept it past Cliff Corral. In back of the net for Gainey. Centering, a shot, save, rebound. The puck loose in front. Cleared by Jimmy Harrison. Harrison through center, leading a Chicago rush. Sweeping it to Logan just out of the penalty box. Centering for Harrison. He's broken up. Great work by Esposito as he stopped a couple of Montreal shots in front. Here's Gainey in a cross, and the Canadians are whistled on the offside. Chicago nothing, Montreal nothing. Let's pause for this message.
Wendy's presents hot and juicy hamburgers. Wendy's uses fresh meat, not frozen meat, and serves every hamburger hot off the grill, never pre-cooked. Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers. Juicy meat, juicy toppings, and lots of napkins.
Esposito with a big save on Doug Jarvis late in the power play. Then lumbering Cam Connor fired the rebound wide. Connor, another one of those WHA expatriates, along with Rod Langway and Mark Napier on the Montreal roster. All 3 are technically NHL rookies, but they won't be eligible for the Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year. Slightly unfair ruling, I think, by the NHL people, although probably neither of the 3 would end up really winning the award. Now it's kept in by Jarvis, backhand shot. That's blocked by Murray. They scramble in the corner. Chicago's own Nikita coming off with it. Nikita starting out. Chicago has killed off a second penalty. Ahead for Dave Logan. Logan firing from the attacking blue line. Missed the net. Rebound tipped away from Rhoda. Kept in by Degg. Darcy Rhoda in the near circle. Robinson cleared it past him. Now Jarvis firing the puck out to center. Stan Mikita out with a couple of new wingers there. Darcy Rhoda and Alain Degg. Now Jim Harrison replacing Mikita at center ice. To explain what I was saying just a moment ago, the NHL has ruled that WHA expatriates who come over are not eligible for the National Hockey League Rookie of the Year award, the Calder Trophy. failing. It means that Napier, Langway, and Connor of Montreal can't win the award. Neither can Ulf Nielsen or Anders Hedberg, the new Swedes who are with the New York Rangers. Napier to take the draw against Jim Harrison just inside the Chicago line. Up comes Lupien from defense. He fires it into the far corner. Russell there for Chicago. Blackhawks have played aggressively, and they've played Montreal on even terms in the early going. Now Magnuson looking to clear for Chicago to Mulvey, who's bumped by Lupien. Kept in on the point by Cornway. Off to Napier. On the far side for Risebrough. Now Magnuson blocks a shot. Chicago coming out. Battleship Kelly just managed to clear it to center. Cornway has broken his stick. Now he has new lumber from the Canadiens bench. Chicago nothing, Montreal nothing. 5:35 to go in the first period, and it's been a well-played first period of play. Magnuson pushing in with Risebrough. Near corner, Chicago's on. We've got a high-sticking call on Doug Risebrough of Montreal as he got a bit too rough with Keith Magnuson. Blackhawks nothing, Canadiens nothing. Late in the first period. Let's pause for this word.
Dave, I'm afraid my car has a transmission problem.
Joe, that really upsets me. We could blow $1 million deal.
Do you hear that, you lousy car? You're upsetting my partner.
Joe, it's a foreign car. It doesn't understand English.
Come to AMCO. Last year, we did more transmission work on foreign cars than anybody else in the business.
I see AMCO fixed up your lousy foreign car.
Don't call it a lousy car. It's better than your car.
Better than my car.
Mine's important.
We promised you the Montreal scratches quickly. Brian Engblom not dressed, along with Mario Tremblay, Rod Langway, Pierre LaRouche, and Pat Hughes. Those are the players not dressed for Canadiens tonight. Chicago with their third power play. Doug Wilson in on left wing for Bully. Centering for Coral. Neither Coral or Boldirev could flag down that pass. Back to the point for Bob Murray. Along the boards for Boldirev. But it's cleared down the length of the ice by Bob Gainey. Gainey and Jacques Lemaire, the penalty-killing forwards, with Lapointe and Savard on the back line. Chicago has Doug Wilson and Bob Murray. A couple of big shots at the blue line with Coral, Boldirev, and Bully up front. Murray snaking in on left wing. Drop pass for Boldirev at the blue line. Boldirev from the left boards, drilling a shot. It's blocked, and Montreal breaks out. Guy Lapointe in with Gainey, 2-on-1. Lapointe back to Gainey, broken up by Wilson. Wilson played the 2-on-1 perfectly and cut off Lapointe's pass intended for Gainey on the left wing. Puck in the Montreal zone as Canadiens rag the play. Guy Lapointe out to Réjean. He tries to send off Jacques Lemaire, but again, Doug Wilson with a good stick-checking play. Chicago starts back. Coral sending off Boldirev. Boldirev, left circle, low shot, score! Power play goal for the Blackhawks. Boldirev took the shot. It may have been deflected, although it looked like a screen drive, and very possibly Ivan Boldirev will get his 5th of the year. Ivan has now scored a point in 6 consecutive games. Boldirev, a low shot from the left wing boards, with Risebrough sitting out a high-sticking liner for Montreal. And Chicago takes a 1-0 lead. Time of the goal is 15:48, first period. Boldirev getting his 5th of the year. Coral and Doug Wilson on the assist, and the Blackhawks have a 1-0 lead on a power play goal by their leading scorer, Ivan Boldirev. Play back underway. Robinson on the Montreal defense. He gives it for Steve Shutt on the left wing. Shutt firing from center off the far corner boards. Blackhawk zone. Here's Makita. He can't clear. It's kept into the point. Shot by Chartrand. Deflected wide. Chicago breaking out J.P. Bordeleau into Stan Makita, but Marks is offside on the left wing, and Scotty Bowman, who changes lines about as frequently as he changes his, well, you fill in the blank. Underwear. Bowman always has his lines in flux, but he does have the big line back together. Lemaire with Lafleur and Shutt after the Chicago goal. Obviously, Bowman is looking for the quick equalizer. Dumped in across, Steve Shutt is offside. Schutt plays fairly well with Lemaire and Lafleur. Scored 60 goals 2 years ago.
Not bad.
Dropped off to 49 last season. Still made the second All-Star team. Lemaire had 97 points last year, and Lafleur, I think he led the league in scoring. Steve Schutt, left wing corner, looking to center, cut off neatly by Magnuson, who's playing aggressively. Lemaire tried to pass from back to the net. Now it's stolen by John Marks. Marks had a tough night in Detroit last night, but he is making up for it with good first period play, especially his penalty kill. Now Makita in across the line. He takes a body check. Bordeleau trying to drop pass for Marks. Montreal starts back. Shot into Lemaire. Lemaire in the slot for Lafleur, who's puck checked by Bobillard. Lafleur tried to send it back into the slot. Marks broke up the play. The puck goes up and out of play.
It was Jacques Lemaire leading Guy Lafleur leading the league in scoring last year with 132 points on 60 goals and 72 assists. Lemaire was 4th overall with 97, and Schutt was 12th with 86. 49 goals, as Andy said, along with 37 assists.
2:55 left in the first period. Chicago has taken a 1-0 lead on Boldirev's 5th of the year from Coral and Wilson. Chicago breaking up a Canadian rush, shot into the Montreal end. Lupien back of the net. Left wing pass for Yvon Lambert. Lambert laboring up the left wing and across the line with Mondu. Centering pass for Mondu. Esposito shot it to the corner neatly. Off for Battleship Kelly. Battleship steaming out of the near wing. He lost control of the puck. Réjean Houle has it in the slot for Lambert. Poke check by Orr. Kept in by Savard at the blue line. Left wing pass again. Orr is there with a stick to clear it. Bobby fires the puck down the length of the rink, and we'll have a Chicago icing call. 1-0 Blackhawks lead. Let's pause for this word.
This is John Boland for the Chicago Plastering Institute. Here is some good sound advice. When you are in the market for a new home, give much thought to this question of sound. If that home is not plastered, the thin walls will allow sound to move throughout the home. If, however, your home is plastered, the thicker walls resist the passage of sound. This soundproofing feature, plus the other added values of plastering, will ensure you a sound investment and a good, sound night's sleep.
Esposito with a save on Lambert. The rebound loose, trickling through the Chicago goal crease. Kept in by Lambert. Lambert triggered a shot from the slot area, but I don't think he got all of it. Esposito made the chest save. Lambert snapped off the shot, but didn't rifle it the way he can. 2 minutes even remaining in the first period. Chicago ahead 1-0 on Boldirev's 5th of the year. Harrison out on the draw against Mondu in center ice. Battleship Kelly clearing it on defense for Orr. Across for Doug Wilson. Ahead for Kelly. He sends it in near corner. Grant Mulvey after it. Stolen by Larry Robinson as Lambert deflects it to center. Orr is there. He gives it to Doug Wilson. A bad pass hitting Wilson in the midsection. Might have been deflected by a Montreal stick. Now the Canadians start back. Réjean Houle, a high shot, and Esposito backs it up into the crowd.
Doug Wilson had that. What are you doing to me, look?
Doug Wilson had a tremendous power play shift. He broke up 2 Montreal shorthanded chances and then was the trigger man, getting the second assist on the Boldirev goal. Doug Wilson playing a super first period. Bobby Orr playing well also. He had a tough night last night, although he did score a goal in the third period. Orr had his problems defensively against those streaking Detroit forwards. The Red Wings had the motors running last night at Olympia, I'll tell you. Shot from the point. Esposito made the stop, covering up with Cournoyer going after the rebound. The Roadrunner, Yvan Cournoyer, captain of the Montreal Canadiens. He has a brother. A lot of people don't know that, but he does have a brother who did play hockey, and obviously he's been overshadowed by Yvan. His brother's named Normand. He played with a team in the Pacific League last year. Played briefly with the Cleveland Crusaders of the World Hockey Association. Boldirev on a draw with Jarvis in the Chicago zone near circle. 1:29 to go, first period. Blackhawks would love to protect this 1-0 lead into the dressing room after 20 minutes of play. Puck coming in front. Cornway, backhand shot, rebound. Esposito made the stop. Cornway with 2 good chances. Logan was hanging all over him, but Cornway got 2 shots away. Kept in by Jarvis. Centering Cornway again. He kicks the shot wide. If that had gone in, it wouldn't have counted. Now drive from the point. That's blocked. The Hawks break out. Now LaPointe brought it back in from center. The puck did not take a Chicago bounce there as Bully blocked LaPointe's shot from the point, and he would have had a 2-on-1 break if the puck had bounced in front of him.
We're getting a little luck now, which we didn't need earlier in the period, but fortunately we do have it. 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining. Boldirev with the only goal of the night. His 5th of the season, his 11th point.
Don't forget Hawk talk between the periods. Kept in by Jarvis. Long shot. Esposito with a save. Clearing it past Cornway. Less than a minute to go in period 1. Blackhawks leading 1-0. Held it on the point. Here's a drive. It's blocked by Ted Bully. Bully breaking out. Bully moving in toward the net. Bully out of... He's fanning on the shot and would have a Montreal tipping penalty. Ted Bully was taken down. He still tried to get a shot away from his knees, but couldn't manage much on it. LaPointe will go out. LaPointe took a good penalty there as Ted Bully had a stride on him, and if LaPointe hadn't brought him down, Bully would have had an excellent scoring chance, and a lot of the fans here at the stadium want a penalty shot for Ted Bully. But the conditions weren't quite right. Bully really didn't have good control of the puck, and LaPointe took him down from the side, not directly from behind. Thus, a tripping minor, not a penalty shot for LaPointe of Montreal. The Blackhawks have late power play with 48 seconds remaining in the first period. Chicago leading 1-0. Bobby Orr from the right point, triggering his shot. That's deflected wide. Orr keeping it in, left boards. Back at the blue line for Russell. Russell, big drive, save by Bryden. Bryden stuck out one of those big pads of his and made the stop. Russell coming back in for Nikita, deflecting it wide of the Montreal goal. Dryden taking it into his own hands. He clears it down the ice. Orr back, pressured by Jacques Lemaire. Orr throws it to the boards in the Chicago end. Phil Russell in to play it around Réjean Houle. 15 seconds remaining. Russell coming out. Chicago looking for that last scoring chance. Orr down the right wing. Around Jarvis, looking to center. His backhand pass blocked by Larry Robinson. 5 seconds, 4 seconds to go. Russell has it in center ice. Teeing up a long shot. That's the end of the first period. And a well-played period it was for the Chicago Blackhawks. They took the play to the Montreal Canadiens. They bottled up the Canadiens for the most part of the first period. And Chicago scored the only goal. Boldirev power play. So it's Chicago 1, Montreal nothing after 20 minutes of play. We'll be opening up the telephones, area code 312-329-1600, right after this. What a turnabout tonight for the Blackhawks. They're playing superb hockey, hustling hockey, physical hockey against the defending Stanley Cup champion Montreal Canadiens. Blackhawks lead the Canadiens 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. Montreal with the edge in shots, 12-11. Well-played period. Tony Esposito was called upon to make some big saves for Chicago. Jacques Lemaire had an excellent Montreal scoring opportunity. Short-handed. He had Esposito out of position, but missed it. Van Cornway had a good scoring chance down the right wing from Lafleur, but Esposito stopped him. On the Chicago side of the coin, Ted Bully, less than a minute to go, broke in, but Guy Lapointe took him down and took a penalty in the process. Thus the Blackhawks will have the power play to start the second period. Chicago leads 1-0. Ivan Boldirev scoring his 5th goal of the year from Coral and Doug Wilson. Power play at 15:48 with Doug Risebrough in the box for Montreal. And here's how Boldirev gave the Blackhawks the lead. Chicago starts back. Coral sending off Boldirev. Boldirev, left circle, low shot. Power play goal for the Blackhawks. Boldirev took the shot. It may have been deflected, although it looked like a screen drive. And very possibly Ivan Boldirev will get his 5th of the year. Ivan has now scored a point in 6 consecutive games. Boldirev, a low shot from the left wing boards with Risebrough sitting a lonely crowd here at Chicago Stadium. Went bananas on that one as Boldirev scored the only goal of the first period from Cliff Corral and Doug Wilson at 15:48. Power play with Riseborough in the box. So Chicago leads 1-0 after 20 minutes. Coming up next, Bud Kelly will field your questions on Hawk Talk. Area code 321-329-1600, the number if you'd like to call and make a hockey comment or ask a hockey question. We'll be back with Hawk Talk following this time.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to so just say bud. And for the and please yourself, no matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of blood is like an easy chair. When you said Budweiser, you said it all. When you said Budweiser, said it all. When you big Budweiser, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Bud Kelly back here at Chicago Stadium. Things are looking good so far at the end of 20 minutes with the Blackhawks leading the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 1-0. Our phone number is 329-1600. If you're out of town, area code 312. Tom, are you on the line?
Yeah.
How are you tonight?
Okay, pretty good.
That's good.
I'd like to know if the Hawks, a couple of years ago, the first-round draft choice.
I think you're right.
If a couple of years ago, Real Cluche, the first-round draft choice.
Uh-huh.
I would like to know if they made any attempts to sign.
Not that I know of. Haven't heard a thing about that.
Do you know where I could find out any more about it? Because I haven't heard anything about it in the newspaper or anything.
Well, I can do a little checking around for you, and as soon as I can find out, we'll put it on the air. How'd that be? Not tonight, I mean.
Yeah, I know, but
next broadcast, perhaps.
It's supposed to be good, and, you know, Hawks need a good goal scorer.
I'll see what I can find out.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, Tom.
All right, bye.
329-1600. Harvey, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'd like to know how effective you think Bobby Orr is going to be this year, and how many games you think he'll get out play.
Well, from what I've seen, Harvey, I think he's going to be very effective. I've read stories in the paper, and of course I've seen it myself in the games that he's played here in the stadium. I don't think he's, of course, as fast as he used to be, but he's got a head that won't quit, and he knows what to do. He knows how to handle the puck. I think if he gets in maybe 4 games out of every 5, or 18 to 20 minutes a game, I think he'll be doing very well. What I've seen, I'm very much impressed by him.
I have one other question here. Do you think the general manager and the coach do a good job coaching the general manager too?
I'm sorry, you're
running the Hawks.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, Harvey?
Is Bob Pulford a coach? Can he general manage and be the general manager and the coach too and do an effective job?
I think so.
A coach job?
I think so.
The way the coaches are, the way the scouting and all this.
I'm losing you to the organ player for some reason or other tonight.
I just want to know if he can coach and be general manager and do a great job with both.
In my opinion, yes, he can. What do you think?
Well, I think he can in some respect, but it demands a lot of work and a lot of, I'd say, overtime with those jobs.
I know that he's been very critical of some of his own decisions in the past, and I think it takes a big man to do that, to admit that maybe that made a mistake somewhere up and down the line, and I'll try not to do it again.
Okay, then, Bob. Thanks very much.
Thanks for calling, Harvey.
Bye-bye.
Our phone number is 329-1600, area code 312. Tom, are you out there?
Yes, I am.
Good. What's on your mind?
Listen, I would like to comment on last night's game between the Hawks and the Detroit Red Wings, because I've been watching the Hawks for 15 years at the stadium and on TV, and I have never, ever seen a Detroit team play like they did last night. I don't know what got into them, but they played fantastic hockey, didn't they, Bud?
Well, I didn't see the game, unfortunately, Tom, but this seems to be the Detroit weekend after what the Lions did to the Bears at Wrigley at Soldier Field this afternoon.
Tell me about it. But I was really impressed with Netamansky last night, and also that little center they just brought up from the minors. His name, I think, is Brian, Cloutier?
Sounds all right.
Yeah, he was fantastic. He moves, and he's very elusive. I think, though, if the Hawks would have been as aggressive last night against Detroit as they are tonight against Montreal, I think that maybe some of those 2-on-1s and 3-on-1s for Detroit would never have occurred.
Well, you know, it's been interesting for me in the early part of this season, Tom. The way we played a week ago against Boston was absolutely fantastic. Then the Washington Capitals came in on Wednesday. We looked like a completely different
team. And you know what the bad part about that was? Is that Grant Mulvey's brother, Paul, scored the tying goal.
That's right.
Now, that was really something else.
All in the family or something.
Yeah, I guess so. But, you know, I think we've got a good hockey club this year. We've got an aggressive hockey club. And they played well in every game. It's just that last night was one of those nights.
I guess it was. Maybe we got it out of our system for a while.
I hope so.
I hope it doesn't come back again.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, Tom.
Good night.
Good night to you. Let's take a 1-minute break, and then we'll be back and talk with John in just a second.
Listen to all you get when you rent a Carpet Magic steam machine. Professional carpet cleaning results at a fraction of what you'd pay a pro. Our dirt extraction system, the safe, fast, easy way to get out the worst dirt and stains. Plus, our exclusive Carpet Magic hotline. Dial 227-7386. 227-7386. That spells Carpet M. We'll tell you how to solve any carpet cleaning problem and where to rent our machine. Professional results, low cost, and a problem-solving hotline. Rent a Carpet Magic steam machine and get it all.
Get the long-lasting collar. Let your book fix and sleeve. Put the plus on your pet. The heart 2-in-1
When it comes to dangerous ticks and fleas, don't be fooled by fall weather. Fall is one of the worst flea and tick seasons. So get your dog or cat the long-lasting Hearts 2-in-1 Plus collar. All through fall, it keeps working to protect your pet and your family.
Put the plus on your pet. The heart 2-in-1 Plus.
Back at Chicago Stadium, the phone number for Hawk Talk here between the first and second period, 329-1600. If you joined us late, Ivan Boldirev scored on a power play at 15:48. Chicago leading 1-0. And John is on the line. John, you there?
Yes, I am.
What's up?
Well, I'd like to say you and Andy MacWilliams do a very fine job of doing the Hawk games. I'm very glad it's been on WCFL for the 2 years. Actually, this is the second year that the Hawks have been on CFL. I'd like to commend the station on doing a very fine job. You two do a very excellent job.
Well, thank you, John. It's very nice of you to say that. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and I'll answer half of that anyway. I think that Andy does one of the best play-by-play descriptions I've ever heard, and I've been around a little while.
Okay, all right. I'd like to ask 2 questions here very quickly, because I know you only have a little time. What has caused the resurgence of the Atlanta Flames this year? Did they get any key players over the season or something? Did they get any players in a free agent or something over the season? Because all of a sudden, they are playing fantastic hockey. They got a 7-game unbeaten string. And, of course, we played in the first game of the year, and we tied them 2-2. Of course, as you know, Guy Chiron got the winning goal with split pass off. That's what has caused the resurgence of that team. They're playing excellent hockey. Did they get any new players over the winter?
Well, let's see now. They beat Pittsburgh last night 4-2, and that makes them the only unbeaten team left in the National Hockey League after our defeat. How about the name Jean Pronovo? Does that ring a bell with you?
Oh, yes. He used to be on Pittsburgh.
They've added Gene Carr also.
Gene Carr, that guy, he used to be on Buffalo. The New York Rangers, yeah.
Well,
all right, and the other question is, NHL hockey is still very popular. How come it went off the TV a couple of years ago? It used to be on NBC at the same time with NFL football when they wouldn't have a doubleheader game. It would be on at 3 o'clock. Why has hockey all of a sudden tapered off in popularity as far as TV goes, even though Channel 44 does cover it?
Well, John, I can answer that one. Everything in this business of radio and television is facts and figures. And apparently, the powers that be didn't like the way the ratings showed up on television as far as hockey was concerned. The ratings weren't good, therefore the sponsors weren't there. If the sponsors aren't there, the money's not there. And if the money's not there, the hockey's not there.
That's true. One more question. Is it true you also did the commentary for the Chicago Cougars a couple of years ago?
Yes, I did.
You did do the Chicago
Back when they were still in business, right.
Otherwise, you would still be in business. Well, nice talking to you.
My pleasure, John. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
We have a young lady on the line by the name of Judy. Is that right?
Yeah.
How are you tonight?
Fine. First, I want to say I enjoy your radio shows, and I have 2 questions for you. First, when do you think Tony leaders should get a rest and Mike Stiles to get a chance?
Do I think?
When do you think he should?
When?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. This is his 8th straight game. Let me
Mackenzie. We've got, what do we got coming up? Vancouver on Wednesday, St. Louis on Saturday. Back-to-back over the weekend. Maybe you'll get one of those nights off. We're down in St. Louis on Saturday night, and the Blues are back up here on Sunday. That's 2 games right in a row. The same situation we've had now from Detroit to here. Maybe by then. I don't know, really. One thing about Tony, he's a workhorse. He's been there a lot. And frankly, I don't think I'd like to be his backup goaltender because if I wanted to be a goalie, I'd like to work. And when you're playing behind Tony Esposito, you don't get that much chance to work.
Okay, and what do you think of Grant Mulvey as a hockey player?
Well, I think of Grant Mulvey as a hockey player. I think he does a fine job. I like this whole team, actually. I don't want to, sugarcoat anything over. As I mentioned earlier, talking with one of our previous callers, we have on nights and off nights. Against Washington, the whole team, I thought, was off to a certain extent. Tonight in the first period, I think everybody looks terrific. I'm very much impressed with Doug Wilson's defensive work tonight. But Mulvey, I think he's a fine man. He's got 4 points on the year. Does a fine job at right wing.
Okay.
Judy, thank you for calling. Appreciate it a lot. Do we have time for any more, or is that going to be it? No, I guess that's it. I'm sorry. It's been my pleasure. Andy resting his throat a little bit. I think he's got laryngitis and Detroititis at the same time.
Chicago won Montreal nothing after 20 minutes from jam-packed standing room only Chicago Stadium. Little audience participation. They have a big balloon-type sphere over there. I guess it's a balloon. Why don't we just simply call it a balloon, not get complicated about it? Let's just call it a balloon. Are batting it back and forth from the first balcony down to the mezzanine section and then into the box seats. And so it's a bit of a carnival atmosphere here at the stadium on a Sunday night. And it's jam-packed, not an empty seat, and they're standing here at the stadium. And this is the type of atmosphere that makes hockey, I think, the #1 spectator sport in the world. The electricity is here, the intensity of this hockey game. And the Blackhawks, I think, truly benefit from home ice advantage when there's this type of crowd in the building.
Well, Andy, I was commenting earlier about the fact that when we played Washington, we didn't look, at least in my opinion, the same team that played Boston. I hate to keep bringing up Boston, but that's one of the best games I've seen in a long time. Here come the Hawks now. And I think the crowd reaction goes along with the team that the Hawks are playing. They were very quiet and certainly not a full house on Wednesday against Washington. I guess everybody kind of felt that should be a gimme, and the fans and the team just kind of went along for the ride. But tonight, Montreal is here, and you used the phrase carnival atmosphere, and indeed it is, and that's got to be a big help to the guys on the ice.
We were talking earlier about Mike Beiser and when Mike will get a chance to play. It might be over the upcoming weekend in that home in St. Louis. It probably will definitely be, if it doesn't happen before that, during the long road trip when the ice volleys are here at Chicago Stadium. The Blackhawks play 6 games on the road. Speaking of the ice volleys, you can order your tickets for the Peggy Fleming Sesame Street extravaganza by dialing STADIUM at Stadium for your ice volley tickets. The ice volleys here at Chicago Stadium run from Tuesday, November 14th until Sunday, November 26th. The ice volleys soon to come to Chicago Stadium, and we are looking forward to that. I know we'll be back in town over the Thanksgiving holiday and breaking that road trip for the Hawks, and I'm eagerly anticipating bringing my young son down to see the Sesame Street characters, and I want to see Peggy Fleming. Blackhawks starts the period with the power play. Guy Lapointe, a minute 12 to serve on his tripping minor. We're underway. Ivan Boldirev's line starting up front. Wilson and Orr on the power play point. 1-0 Chicago on Boldirev's 5th of the year power play in the late going period 1. Ted Bully up the left wing. The bulldozer forks it in far corner. Larry Robinson there looking to clear it. Kept in by Orr. Across for Doug Wilson. Centering for Bully. Sweeps the shot wide. Boldirev in the right corner. Out to Coro. Back to Wilson. Big shot. He fired it wide. Boldirev the shot. He scores! Ivan Boldirev. Scooping up the loose puck. Off the rebound from the boards. Firing it in past right. Boldirev gets his second power play goal. And the Hawks take a 2-0 lead. 27 seconds into period 2. Wilson let the big slapper go from the left point and went wide in the net. Hit the boards behind and came right out on Boldirev's stick, and he fired it past the helpless Ken Wright.
Boldirev right up among the top scorers in the league now, tied with 5 others, 12 points.
2-0 Chicago leading. Cubs back at full strength as Mark fires it off the right corner boards into the Montreal zone. Savard fires it past J.P. Bordeleau. Now out to Lemaire in on the right for Lafleur. His shot, that's deflected wide by Russell. Coming off to Bordeleau, centering for Makita. Kept in by Savard momentarily. Magnuson there in the hot defense. Out to Russell. Ahead to Marks. Marks in across the line. J.P. Bordeleau offside on the right wing. The fans reacting to the DA announcement of the second Chicago goal. It's Boldirev from Coral and Wilson.
That gives him 12 points. Super job. 6 goals, 6 assists.
Wilson with 2 assists on the night. Cliff Coral with 2 assists. 2-0 Blackhawks. LaPointe threads it for Lemaire. His shot blocked by Keith Magnuson. The Hawks captain gathering in the puck. Maggie plays it off the boards neatly for Marks. Marks out on left wing, charging in across the Canadiens line, but J.P. Bordeleau was knocked down, could not drag that rear skate, and he is offside. Final score from the Spectrum. Vancouver has defeated Philadelphia 5-2. So momentarily, the Canucks are in a first-place Smythe Division tie with Chicago. The Blackhawks need this win over Montreal to retain sole possession of the Smythe Division lead. They have 2 games at hand on Vancouver, but those points, they're in the bank. Games in hand are something, I guess, for broadcasters and writers to talk about. Coaches don't like to think about those things. Makita starts it for Russell. Russell charging up the near board, clearing it out to center. He's checked by Shot. It's fired across in the far wing. Clear to the red line where Lemaire plays it over 2 lines. So Vancouver has picked up the first win on their road trip. They'll be here Wednesday in the Smythe Division showdown against Chicago. Vancouver 5, Philadelphia 2. The Flyers drop below 500. A lot of people don't realize that the Flyers have 6 or 7 new players. A youth movement in Philadelphia with their 3 first-round draft picks. Well, one of those 3 was just sent down the other day, but Ben Wilson, the defenseman, and Ken Linsman are still with the club. Rick McLeish is playing a left wing instead of center ice. A lot of adjustments, and the Flyers just aren't scoring goals. Their goals against, except for tonight, has been pretty good. And they gave up 5 to Vancouver. Pierre Mondeau for Montreal. In on left wing. His shot, Esposito, a juggling save. He gathers in the rebound. And he'll hold for a face-off. Very close to a delay in game penalty on Tony Esposito. He made the stop, controlled the rebound. The referee, Jewell, I think, replayed that mentally and then decided not to call a penalty. And Larry Robinson of Montreal is arguing the lack of a penalty call. The new rule this year states that a goaltender cannot force the stoppage in play and smother the puck unless he's being checked by an opposing player, and that really wasn't the case there. Mondeau winning a draw in the Chicago zone. Blackhawks ahead 2-0 on Boldirev, second of the night. Now Rejean Houle in the right corner for Mondeau. Quick shot, bad angle, blocked by Harrison. He triggers it for Grant Mulvey. Mulvey can't clear. Kept in by Montreal's Lambert. Centering. Here's Rejean Houle. He hooked the shot wide as Lambert gave it to him in perfect position. So a break for the Hawks there as Houle couldn't settle for the good shot, and he fired it wide of the net. A face-off upcoming. Chicago 2, Montreal nothing. Let's try it for this message.
It's incredible. A truncated can of Budweiser. That's the new Bud Half Pint. 8 easy-tasting ounces of the king of beers in one neat little can. But will play in Peoria, if you tell me. Yes, unmistakably complete Budweiser. That's the new Bud Half Pint. Ask for it wherever you buy Budweiser. When you say Bud Half Pint, you've said it short. When you say Budweiser, you said it. And I could break St. Louis.
Blackhawks 2, Canadiens nothing with 17:30 to go. Second period from Chicago Stadium. Or for Doug Wilson is assisted on both Chicago goals. He threads it behind the Canadiens' net. Stolen by Boldirev, centering. No one home for Chicago. Mark Napier back. Weisbrod gives it to Cournoyer and on right wing. Cournoyer centering it in front, but Orr is there to block that. Blackhawks breakout. Boldirev in across the line for Coral on the right wing. Down the boards, looking to throw it in front. That's blocked. Now Boldirev against Napier, cleared out of the point. Bully kept it in for Chicago. Behind the net, Lupien on the Montreal defense. Throws it for Cornway, kept in by Wilson, a high shot. Over the Montreal goal, Napier turns it to center, or dumping it back in offside.
Brings us down to 16:50 to go in period 2. We mentioned Boldirev being tied with 5 others in the National League scoring race. That would be Václav Nedomansky of Detroit, who got the hat trick against us last night. Dave Taylor of Los Angeles, Rick Middleton of Boston, and a couple of Red Wings. Also, in addition to Nedomansky, Dale McCourt and Errol Thompson. They all come in with 12 points on the year so far. Now we add Boldirev to that list, 6 goals and 6 assists.
Look who's leading the NHL in scoring. Wayne Babich, the rookie right winger of St. Louis, 18 points for him. And his line mates Brian Sutter and Bernie Federko are also in the top 5, and that's the most potent line right now in the National Hockey League. Federko, Babich, and Sutter of St. Louis. Hawks looked to clear. Lemaire couldn't keep it in. Lemaire in center for Canadians. Long shot wide of Esposito. The puck catching on the goal net, and they'll move the face-off out to center. 2-0 Chicago, both goals power play, both scored by Ivan Boldirev. Assists on both goals read the same, Coral and Wilson. Lemaire out centering the Canadians' big line with Shutt and Lafleur. Makita, Bordeleau, and Marks doing the checking job. Magnuson and Russell on the Chicago defense. Bob Pulford going with 6 defensemen tonight, 11 forwards. Higgins, Kerr, and Hicks are not dressed for Chicago. Russell back of the net, checked by Shutt. He gets it to Bordeleau. Oh, ahead for Makita. Makita moving in right wing. Makita taking a shot. Out came Dryden to block it. Makita tried to center. It's kept in by Bordeleau in the off-wing corner. Tries to send it back to the net. Makita off with a puck now, slipping it in front. Dryden got his stick on that centering effort. Now Lafleur comes back in for Shutt. Left wing, his shot. Esposito just got a piece of that to tick it wide. Caught Esposito in the right shoulder. Puck in the slot, banged wide of the net by Lemaire. Now Bordeleau centers for Makita. Makita tied up by Larry Robinson. What a truck Larry Robinson is. Speaking of Chuck Robinson, he plays basketball for the New Orleans Jazz, doesn't he? Here's Lapointe in across the line for Canadians. He lost it. Poke checked by Phil Russell. Off for Bordeleau. His pass intercepted by Lafleur. Lafleur in on left wing. Lafleur flicks the pass in front. Makita blocked that. Blackhawks are not being caught up ice tonight as they were last night in Detroit against the rampaging Red Wings. Now Marks triggers it out to center down the ice. After it, Larry Robinson, an icing call on Chicago with J.P. Bordeleau. They're just a stride too late. Let's run down the scores last night in the NHL quickly. We should have done this at the top of the broadcast. Nonetheless, we'll do it now. New York Rangers beat Montreal 2-1. The Islanders over Vancouver 5-2. Atlanta stayed unbeaten, a 4-2 win over Pittsburgh. Colorado and Bill Olashuk shut out Minnesota 1-0. St. Louis and Buffalo played to a 7-7 tie. L.A. beat Washington out west 5-1. And Detroit over Chicago 7-2. 8 games in the NHL last night. The only team not playing last night, the Philadelphia Flyers. They have played and lost tonight already. Flyers losing to Vancouver 5-2 at the second. Harrison keeps the puck in for Chicago. Savard blocks that. It's fired down the length of the rink to skate Ray Sears. The puck into Esposito's goal crease. Cut for icing by Murray.
14:48 to go, period 2. Talking about league-leading scorers. One thing conspicuous by its absence in the list of the top 17 is the Montreal Canadiens, and they came in 1-4-12 last year. Their leader at the moment is Guy Lapointe, who has 10 points on the year, but no Canadians listed in the group known as the top 17.
Tim Harrison on the draw with Doug Jarvis in Montreal Ice. 2-0 Chicago ahead, just under 15 minutes remaining here in the second period. Murray keeps it in. He fired into the corner where Mulvey couldn't control. Now Kelly back in the goal. Kelly and Mulvey, Tim Harrison's wingers. Now Connor sends it out to Jarvis on the left wing for Bob Gainey. Gainey around Murray, taking a shot at Esposito with a save. Now back in the net, Connor trying to center. Cam Connor was taken out of the play, and Logan starts back for Chicago. Dave Logan, the right wing pass, deflected in for Grant Mulvey. Mulvey looking to center, right to the goal crease. Now O'Connor coming out for Montreal. Ahead for Bob Gainey. He flips it in. Montreal changing on the move now. In back of the net, Logan behind the Chicago goal. Rolling it for Grant Mulvey. Mulvey checked on the boards by Lambert. The loose puck grabbed by Murray. Murray flips it out to center into the Montreal zone. Pierre Mondu is back. Mondu touching it, an icing call here against Chicago. Blackhawks 2, Canadians nothing. Let's pause for this message.
The past winter proved how important your heating plant is for comfort. Undersized boilers and insufficient radiators made many people uncomfortable. Have a reliable and experienced heating contractor install your hot water or steam heating plant in your home or factory. Weil McLean is the #1 manufacturer of cast iron boilers and cast iron baseboards. Call Ed Moran at Moran Supply Company when you need a new boiler at 622-8300 or drop in at 2501 North Central Avenue.
Ivan Boldirev to take the draw against Mondu in the Chicago zone. Boldirev has scored both Chicago goals to give him 6 on the year. He leads the club in that department and in total points with 12. Lambert in center on the Montreal defense for Guy Lapointe. Head across, it's stolen by Coyle right in front to Boldirev. Boldirev can't trigger his shot. We've got a Montreal penalty upcoming. Coyle did a great job of holding the puck in at the Canadian line. He headmanned for Boldirev. Boldirev would have had a clear-cut scoring chance. He was pulled down by Larry Robinson, who took a good penalty in front of Ken Dryden, the Montreal goalkeeper. So the Hawks have scored on their last 2 power plays. Will try to make it 3 for 3. As Robinson hits down for hooking at 6:22. The second period. Boldirev to take the draw against Lemaire. In the Montreal zone, back to Bully on the left point for Wilson. He sends it in front, blocked by Guy Lapointe. Lapointe breaking out. Coyle picked his stick up and stripped him of the puck, but Serge Savard is there to shoot it into the Chicago end. Puck comes off for Orr, hooking it for Wilson on the left wing, ahead for Boldirev, and across the line for Coyle. Coyle, a backhand shot. Best save by goaltender Dryden. Now Lemaire looking to clear. He can't get it out. It's kept in by Coyle. Coyle taking a shot. That hit Boldirev, his own man, and Lemaire clears it down the length of the rink. Bobby Orr out on the power play right point with Doug Wilson on the left side. Orr starting the rush for Chicago. Head manning for Coyle. Coyle lost the puck in center. Now dumped in behind the Chicago goal. A minute 15 on the Montreal minor to Larry Robinson. 12:45 remaining in the second period. Chicago ahead 2-0. Rejanou stole it from Orr. Now it comes off to Coyle, who's played a heady hockey game. He gives it to Bully, rink wide on the left. Head Bully in across the line, down the boards against Lapointe. Bully looking to center. Bully turns for that, he shoots, and Dryden made the save there, covering up on the far side of his net. Wholesale personnel changes here on the Chicago power play unit. Makita coming out, centering for Alain Begg and Darcy Rhoda with Russell and Murray on the back line. Face off to the left of Dryden in the Montreal zone. Ken Dryden came into this game with a 3.57 goals against. He and the Montreal defense won the Vezina Trophy last year, allowing just over 2 goals a game. So goals against and defense has been the big problem for Canadians in the early going. Murray keeps it in for Russell, left point. Left corner boards for Makita. Makita back of the net. Darcy Rhoda giving it to Makita again. Makita centering that pass, blocked by Guy Lapointe. Lapointe can't clear, kept in by Russell. He bangs the shot wide. Puck in back of the net. Rhoda fanned on a shot as it came off the board. Kept in by Makita. He lost it. Makita pokes it into the corner. Savard is there, bumping against Rhoda. Now it comes off for Degg. Degg tried to center. Puck hit the back of the goal. Rhoda keeps it in. Rhoda centers. Degg didn't see it coming. Kept in by Russell. He bangs the shot wide of the net. Now up comes Murray from the right point, but Canadians managed to clear. 10 seconds on the Montreal penalty. Shot ahead for Degg. It's stolen all by Doug Jarvis. Jarvis into the zone, checked by Degg. He dumps it in behind the Chicago net. Coming off for Phil Russell of Chicago. Montreal has killed off the penalty now. Russell put it in for Darcy Rhoda. Rhoda against Chartraw back to the Canadian net. Now it comes off for Degg in the left corner. He's checked by Lafleur. Lafleur trying to pry it loose. Harrison kicks the puck away. Harrison and Gainey collide. Now Now Savard starting back for Montreal. Clubs at full strength now with 11:15 to go. Second period, Chicago leading Montreal 2-0 on 2 Ivan Boldirev power play goal. Blackhawks come out, Mulvey colliding with Larry Robinson. We have a whistle and an elbowing penalty here. Called against Montreal's Larry Robinson. Not Guy Lafleur going on for elbowing. Lafleur, who seldom takes the penalty, is called for the elbowing here. He takes the seat. Blackhawks will get the power play. We'll be back after this break.
Wendy's presents hot and juicy hamburgers. Wendy's uses fresh meat, not frozen meat, and serves every hamburger hot off the grill, never pre-cooked. Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, juicy meat, juicy toppings, and lots of napkins.
Blackhawks have the power play. Guy Lafleur off for elbowing. Boldirev taking the draw out, centering the power play line. They drop the puck in center ice. Bully tips it back to Doug Wilson. Wilson centering for Boldirev. Left wing pass for Bully. Bully takes the beak. He walks it. He shoots. He's pump check. Boldirev couldn't fire in the rebound. He was well covered by Rysbraw. Kept in by Orr for Wilson at the left point. Wilson triggering a shot. That's blocked by Guy Lapointe. Ted Bully made a deep move there on dressing the Montreal right defense. Taking a shot. It was blocked. Boldirev almost scored his third of the night on the rebound.
That trick would be nice. If Nedemensky can do it against us, then we can do it against Montreal. Minute 42 left. The Blackhawks have 2 power play goals out of 5 opportunities before this one. This is the 6th Montreal minor, a little ice repair down by Ken Dryden's net going on right now. The linesman working on a gouge or whatever it is in the ice. That'll be taken care of shortly.
New York Rangers lead the Pittsburgh Penguins 3-1 after 2 periods at Madison Square Garden. New players on the ice for Pittsburgh. Greg Shepard is finally reported from the Boston Bruins, and Rod Schutt, former Montreal Canadiens. He is playing for the Penguins now. Bob Gainey in across, killing the penalty, ragging the play, dumping it back on defense for Robinson. Robinson in his own end shoots it down the fireboards into Chicago ice. Rod Schutt went to Pittsburgh earlier this week in a deal that wasn't very well publicized for a first draft pick in 1981. So even though Sam Pollock isn't running the Montreal club, his theories live on in spirit. Rubbed off on Al McNeil, Claude Ruel and company. Blackhawks start back. Bobby Orr with a puck. A minute left on the power play. Orr shoots it in left wing. Blackhawks were offside. 2-0 Chicago, 10:08 to go. Second period, Chicago Stadium. Standing room only crowd. 2 Blackhawk power play goals. Boldirev late in the first and early in the second period. A minute left on the Montreal minor to Guy Lafleur. Makita out with Dag and Rhoda. This line has played together 3 or 4 shifts tonight, and they've worked hard. Here's Murray in back of the Chicago net. Rob Murray with a goal and 6 assists through the Blackhawks' first 7 games. Now Phil Russell up the left wing. Headmanning for Makita. Makita breaking in across the line. Leaves it on the right point for Murray. Flipped in back to the net. Dag looking to center. Stuck it into the slot area. Makita couldn't settle for a shot. Up to the Chicago line. Blackhawks 3-1 the play. Murray the puck carrier. Up the left wing for Rhoda, who lost control of the Montreal line and got into the Chicago end. Bill Russell dumps it for Darcy Rhoda. Rhoda still looking for that 200th career point. And across the line comes Murray, but Dag is offside on the right wing.
So that brings us down to 17 seconds left on the elbow call against Guy Lafleur. Blackhawks in the lead, 2-0. Both goals, power play jobs, both by Ivan Boldirev, as we have changes all around tonight.
Montreal is suffering through one of their worst streaks in the last 3 years. They've won 3 consecutive Stanley Cups. Plus, not too many bad spells for Canadians, but they've won 1 and tied 1 of their last 5. They lost last night at the Forum 2-1 to the New York Rangers. Lafleur tied it in the third period, but Steve Vickers scored the game winner for New York. As the Rangers have played exceptional hockey, considering where they have to come from under Fred Shero. Their goals against is one of the lowest in the league. The team that gave up a lot of goals last year, certainly under Jean-Guy Talbot. Fred Shero's defensive expertise is certainly rubbed off in the early going, and the Rangers have only one loss, going for their 5th win tonight against Pittsburgh at home. They've tied 3 times. Blackhawks keep it in. Bud Kelly knocks down. He dumps it along the board. Controlled by Lambert of Montreal. Harrison checked it away from him. Harrison putting on pressure, chasing Robinson back in the Montreal goal. Canadians have killed off the penalty. 2-0 Chicago. Lambert on the right wing for Lafleur just out of the box. And Montreal has whistled on the offside. The New York Rangers might well be ahead in that Patrick division with a 4-1-3 record, maybe 5-1-3 if they hold on to their lead tonight at home against Pittsburgh. But the Atlanta Flames, they've been the miracle kids of the NHL. 7-0-2, another win on the road last night for the Flames in Pittsburgh. Another miracle finish, too. Bob McMillan scored the 3rd Atlanta goal with 1:10 remaining in the 3rd, and then David Shand fired one into an empty net. As Atlanta won it with another heart-thumping finish. Here's Robinson from the point. Harrison blocks that. Chicago breaking out. Harrison off the right board. Mulvey after it. Dryden clearing it toward the point out to center. Bob Murray played it conservatively there. Stayed out in center ice. Didn't come up to keep the puck in. The fans wanted him to. Now in across comes Lambert. Shot and a save by Esposito.
Good move by Tony Esposito. Yvonne Lambert right there. Point-blank range. Couldn't get it by him. Esposito holding on for the face-off. 8:19 to go, period number 2. First meeting of the year between the Blackhawks and Montreal. We didn't beat them last year at all in 4 games. They outscored us 15-9, but in all but one case, they were very close. We lost 3-2, 3-2, 6-2, and tied them 3-3. Not too bad.
Grant Mulvey getting a slashing penalty. Esposito robbed Lambert on the first real legitimate Montreal scoring chance in the second period. Super glove save by Esposito as Lambert was set in cold turkey there. Canadians get the power play for the 3rd time in the hockey game, their first power play opportunity in period 2. Réjean Houle on the right wing, Lemaire centering with Schutt on the left side. Blackhawks battle declared, kept in by Lafleur. The point is shot, 6 saved by Esposito. Rebound is kept in by Lafleur, right wing for Réjean Houle in the deep slot. Houle turning back to Lafleur at the blue line. Across for Larry Robinson, gunning a shot. That's blocked. It's kept in by Lafleur. He bangs away. John Marks covering the point. He blocked it. Now Robinson taking a low risk shot. Esposito with a save. The puck bouncing back to the net. Magnuson ties it up on the board. He gives it for J.P. Bordeleau. Fires it out to center. John Marks playing an inspired hockey game. Some superb penalty killing for him. Lafleur, a rink-wide pass up the left. In toward the Chicago goal. Esposito can't clear. Lafleur keeps it in. Left wing for Schutt. Steve Schutt. Back to the net for Lemaire. Lemaire to Schutt. He fans with a shot. Now from the point. Lafleur. That's deflected wide. Coming off to Steve Schutt on the point for Larry Robinson. He bangs the shot. It's deflected wide. Schutt tries to center. Russell pushes him off the play. Now it's fired down the length of the rink. A delayed penalty on Chicago here. They call Phil Russell for the slash. I saw Russell give a Montreal player a push in the face with a glove, but no slash from here. Nonetheless, the referee Newell as they're giving Schutt the penalty. Schutt goes off. So Russell, as we said, was guilty of nothing more than a push in the face, and Schutt retaliated. So that cancels out the Montreal power play. The teams will skate it 4 aside in front of the goalkeepers for 49 seconds. Then the Hawks get some power play.
Well, Mulvey has 49 seconds to serve on his call. And then, as Andy mentioned, we'll get the power play for 1:11. Steve Schutt gone off on a slashing call at 12:52. So 4 skaters to a side, and that really opens up the rink. It looks so much bigger when you remove 2 guys. Face off, Montreal zone, right of Dryden.
2-0 Chicago. Here's Bogda fanning on a shot after Degg won a face-off in the Montreal end. LaPointe back of the goal, around on the boards for Napier, who sees limited ice tonight. Napier out on the far wing, giving it for LaPointe. A quick wrist shot. Esposito with a stick save. Puck to the near corner in the Chicago zone. Blackhawks struggling to clear. Comes off to Darcy Rhoda. Rhoda, the spunky little winger, starting up the left side. Rhoda sending it rink wide. Napier blocked that. Now Degg gives it to Orr. Orr turned away by Napier. The club's at corner side. Now it's stolen. Here's Mondu. A shot. Stick save by Esposito. Bobby Orr was checked. He coughed up the puck. But Esposito made the stop on Mondu's 30-footer. Orr with a good check along the board. Chicago breaking out. Here's Rhoda. Shooting it on left wing. His shot. Dryden closed his pads and made the save. Now LaPointe giving it to Lemaire. Chicago with a power play. As Mulvey is out of the box, it's dumped the length of the rink. Wilson is back. He's checked behind the Chicago net. The puck is trapped and will have a face-off in the Chicago zone.
So the Blackhawks have their 7th power play of the evening. Murray, Russell, Makita, Bordeleau, Marks coming on. 5 fresh bodies. The face-off coming up in the Blackhawks zone. 56 seconds left on Shuck's slashing call. And we got the one-man advantage. Let's see if we can do it again. 2 for 7 so far.
You're listening to the Voice of Labor, AM 10 WCFL Chicago. Our next road radio broadcast from St. Louis, Saturday night, 7:55 airtime. Blackhawks are home Wednesday against Vancouver, and next Sunday at the tail end of a home-and-home against the St. Louis Blues. So it's nothing but Smythe's division opposition next week. 3 games against Smythe's division opponents. Vancouver Wednesday, St. Louis Saturday and Sunday. Russell breaking in, chasing after the puck. Dryden came out to clear it on the board. Blackhawks with the power play. Marks lost it along the boards. It slipped down the length of the rink. Chicago 2, Montreal nothing. 30 seconds on the Canadiens penalty to Steve Shutt. J.P. Bordeleau tried to slip it ahead for Murray. Stolen by Montreal. Controlled by Jarvis. He slings it into Chicago ice. 5:25 to go in the period. Montreal changing penalty killers. Bob Murray coming out. Left wing pass for Marks. Then across. Marks gives it for Russell. Russell backhand shot. J.P. Bordeleau from the far wing is Russell. Gave it to him across the goal crease. Bordeleau banged it in with Russell and Marks assisting. Russell gave it the spinorama in front of the goaltender, a backhand pass right through the goal crease. J.P. was there to bang it in.
Number 5 for Bordeleau. 3-0. 3 power play goals for the Blackhawks. And it's a good game so far. 5:15 to play. Second period, back to center ice for the faceoff.
I think that Ken Dryden was distracted by Phil Russell's skating pyrotechnics there. His acrobatics as Russell did the pirouette in front of the goaltender. Russell did the spinorama there, and I don't think Ken Dryden has ever seen that move from Phil Russell before. Russell headman, I should say Marks headman to Russell. Russell made the pass right in front of the goal to J.P. Bordeleau, who fired it into the net, and the Jeep has his 5th of the year. Chicago leads 3-0. John Marks from center, his big shot just wide of the net. Dryden grabbing it, firing it on the near wing boards in Montreal ice. Here's Makita off with a puck. Makita maneuvering, centering. It's blocked by Lemaire, who fights it out towards center. Putting it on Steve Shutt's stick. Shut in on left wing. He is tipped by J.P. Bordeleau. Bordeleau going off here. With a score. Chicago 3, Montreal nothing. Let's pause for this announcement.
Halloween is just around the corner, and as the sun begins to set, you'll see those little ghosts and goblins knocking at your door. Instead of candy, give those little trick-or-treaters sweet, juicy apples. And here's a treat for you, too. A 3-pound bag of crisp Jonathan apples is only 68 cents. And then head back to the kitchen and toss up a great salad. Dominic's Produce Department have plenty of harvest-ripened tomatoes, for just 33 cents a pound. That's at your neighborhood Dominick's, Chicagoland's most complete food stores.
Chicago leading 3-0. How about the details on that third Chicago goal?
Bordeleau picking up his 5th of the year, 8th point, assisted by Russell, 1, 3, and 4. And Johnny Marks, who has 8 points also now, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. That came at 14:45, 3-zip Blackhawks. But a power play situation for Montreal now. Some more ice repair in the Blackhawks zone, straight out halfway between the net and the blue line, straight up the slot. In the penalty box, J.P. Bordeleau, who got the goal, he went out at 15:17, or 32 seconds after scoring, on a tripping call. He'll sit out for 2 minutes. Hopefully he'll sit out for 2 minutes. We don't need to cut short by a Montreal goal. 3-0 Hawks.
Blackhawks at home on Wednesday against Vancouver in those new uniforms of the Canucks.
Oh, yeah.
Outlandish uniforms. They're worth the price of admission.
Indeed they are. We can have a voting as to what exactly the colors really are.
Blackhawks short-handed for the 4th time in the hockey game. Flip Coral winning the draw. He flips it up and out of play. Coral and Marks, the penalty-killing forwards, with Bill Russell and Doug Wilson on the back line. Now Orr coming out, along with Wilson. Russell will be pulled off. Lemaire, Robinson moving up to a right wing to add size in front of the net. Shot on the left wing, LaPointe, and Lafleur at the point. Lafleur banging it off the boards behind the Chicago goal. Esposito gives it to Marks. Marks in the left corner. He sends it around the boards where Orr is there. Orr bangs it for Coral. Coral can't clear. Kept in by Larry Robinson. Now it's dumped into the corner for shot. He taps it with his stick. Orr is there to fire it around the boards. Kept in by Guy Lapointe. The cross on the left for Lemaire. His shot is blocked as Coral covered the point beautifully. Orr blocked it. Orr and Lafleur along the corner boards. Out to Coral. Coral can't get it out. Kept in by Lafleur to Robinson. Quick shot there. Esposito with a save. Rebound in front. Backhand shot wide of the net by Shot. Now the Blackhawks clear. Doug Wilson and Steve Shot still pushing in front of the net. Montreal starting back. Lemaire leading the rush. In across. Left wing. Giving it down the boards. Back checking Coral. Knocked Shot off the play. Now they pin the puck in the corner and hold for a face-off. The Blackhawks have completely changed their style of play from last night. They're working hard, they're sacrificing, they're taking the extra step, they're beating the Canadians to the puck.
And the more I hear about last night's game, Andy, the gladder, or more glad, the happier I am that opportunity did not present itself for me to watch it.
55 seconds left in the Chicago penalty to J.P. Bordeleau. A good ovation, a well-deserved ovation for Bobby Orr and Doug Wilson as they had an excellent penalty-killing shift.
Steve Schutt was still looking for Wilson when he took off.
They had quite a sparring match in front of that Chicago goal. Réjean Houle threads it along the boards. It's stolen by Coyle, breaking out, giving it to Marks. Marks turning back at the red line. Chicago ragging the play. Marks shot it on the boards. Lapointe off with it for Montreal. Guy Lapointe into the zone. Réjean Houle offside on the right wing, and Lemaire was, Lambert was in ahead of the play on the far wing. 2-0. Make that 3-0 Chicago. J.P. Bordeleau getting the third Chicago goal from Russell and Marks' power play at 14:45. 3:22 to go in the middle period. 39 seconds on the Canadiens' penalty. The Chicago penalty to J.P. Bordeleau. Lafleur in a cross. Coyle put the wraps on him. Now in back of the net. Montreal trying to feed the point. It's shot over. Guy Lapointe into the Canadian zone. Lapointe coming out around Marks. Stick handling to the Chicago line. Giving it to Mondu. Back pass for Lapointe. Quick shot. Esposito covered up.
Mondu right there, waiting for the puck to come out. It never did. 14 seconds left on Bordeleau's tripping penalty. Blackhawks leading 3-0. Yes, we are over Montreal. 2:57 remaining in the second period. A good hockey game tonight. The Blackhawks have more than stayed with this hockey team from Montreal that amassed 129 points last year to win their division by 51 over second place Detroit. Oh, I'm sorry I mentioned Detroit again.
Detroit has a 2-point lead over Montreal right now in the Norris division. Canadians need to win tonight to pull back into a tie with the Red Wings. Chicago needs to win. Kept in by Robinson out to Savard. His shot went wide of the net. 4 seconds on the Chicago penalty. It's centered for Mondu, who couldn't handle. J.P. Bordeleau out of the box. Blackhawks have killed off their 4th penalty of the night. The puck along the boards. Russell racing for it and flipping the puck down the length of the rink. Good penalty killing by the Blackhawks. They lead Montreal 3-0 late in period 2. A heavy check in center as Magnuson dumps Lambert to the ice. Now Robinson shoots it in for Cournoyer. Magnuson and Cournoyer tie up. Puck to the far corner. Mondu and Russell collide. And they hold for a faceoff.
Now we're down to 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go.
Chicago 3, Montreal nothing. Let's pause for this word.
This is John Boland for the Chicago Plastering Institute. An architect who had specified walls of masonry and plastering for a nursing home was asked, why not save money by using that cheaper wallboard? His answer was, this building will be serving people long after I am gone. I specified masonry and plastering to be sure that the building will give good service for many years to come. In the purchase of your new home, you should give serious consideration to the question of permanence. Be sure the home you purchase is plastered.
Back to action. Esposito with a save and a big shot from the point by Guy Lapointe. Now Grant Mulvey clears it across for Kelly. In over the line for Jim Harrison. And the Hawks are whistled on the offside. 1:58 to go. Period 2. Chicago leading Montreal 3-0. 3 power play Blackhawk goals. Boldirev twice and J.P. Bordeleau. Our guest during the second intermission will be the president and publisher of the Hockey News, Ken McKenzie. He presented Bob Pulford with the Hockey News Coach of the Year award prior to the face-off tonight. Ken McKenzie from Montreal, the major domo of the Hockey News. He'll be our guest during the second intermission. Here's Savard sending off Risebrough. Risebrough into the zone, giving it to Cournoyer. Back check nicely by Murray. It comes off to Logan of Chicago. Ahead for Kelly, return for Harrison. Then over the line, too far for the Battleship. Shot out to center. Napier on the rush for Montreal. Napier left circle for Cournoyer for Risebrough. Deflected wide of the Chicago goal. A minute 25 to go. Dumped in from the point by Robinson, wide of the Chicago net. Kept into the corner for Cournoyer. Centering. Magnuson guarding the slot. Knocked the pass away. Jim Harrison now out for Kelly. Kept into the point by Savard of Montreal. He flicks it ahead for Napier. Bob Murray, though, fires it off the boards out towards center. Mulvey trying to battle it to neutral ice. They trap it on the boards and hold for face-off.
Down to 1:06 in the second period, each team with 5 skaters out in front of Dryden and Esposito. Nobody in the penalty box. 4, Wilson, Day, Bully. And now Boldirev coming on the ice for Chicago Montreal, making changes all around too. 3-0. 2 for Boldirev and 1 for Bordeleau. All power play goals. The Blackhawks are 3 for 7 in the man advantage department tonight, and that's pretty good. Face-off will be in the Chicago zone, just inside the blue line. Just about ready for that. 1:06 to play, second period.
Both clubs at full strength. Chicago's killed off 4 penalties. The Blackhawks have scored 3 power play goals on 7 opportunities. So the specialty units have really clicked for Chicago tonight. The penalty killers have been flawless. 1 power play has clicked 3 times in 7 chances. Puck in the Montreal end. Ganey tried to clear it ahead. Stolen by Boldirev. He couldn't center. Out to Guy Lafleur now. Lafleur firing from neutral ice. Big shot. Esposito did the split. He made the save. Ward clears it for Degg. Degg on the right wing. Batting it past Lemaire. Down the length of the rink. Chartres back pressured by Bully. Touching it for icing.
Well, that Lafleur really lets a bullet go. I can see where he had 60 goals and a total of 132 points last year. From just inside the blue line, he put one on Esposito that must have been going a mile a minute. 38 seconds remaining. Second period. Face off again, this time to the circle, to the right of Esposito. 3-0, Hawks in the lead.
reviewing that Blackhawks schedule next week. 3 games, 2 at home. Vancouver here Wednesday, St. Louis here Sunday. In St. Louis Saturday, CFL airtime from the Checker Dome Saturday, 7:55 with the pregame shows. So 3 4-point games, if you will, against Smythe Division opposition next week for Chicago. Both Vancouver and St. Louis have been scoring a lot of goals. They're much more exciting than the last couple of years, and they should provide interesting opposition. Shot ahead for John Marks, stolen by Lafleur of Montreal. In for Gainey. He's checked along the boards at the Hawk blue line by J.P. Bordeleau. He gathers in the puck. We'll have a face-off coming up in center ice. The New York Rangers have defeated Pittsburgh 3-2. And so the Rangers continue their excellent play under Fred Shero. 5-1-3 for New York, 13 points. Second in the Patrick division, 3 back of undefeated Atlanta. Chicago trying to protect that 3-goal lead with 15 seconds to go in the second period, or clearing it to center for Marks. Marks shot it ahead. Lafleur blocked that. Here's Wilson on defense for Marks, who just dumps it in with 5 seconds to go. The puck behind the Montreal goal. Here's Marks charging in, crunching sharp draw on the board. That's the end of period 2. The Blackhawks had their lead. Chicago 3, Montreal nothing after 40 minutes of hockey from the jam-packed Chicago Stadium. Back to recap after this announcement.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Hi, Bob. It's Dan Pollock.
Who?
I'm in showbiz. I thought you might know the name.
No, sorry, I don't.
Anyway, I'm calling about a loan. You run up a lot of costs preparing for your showbiz, you know?
Right. Well, we can take care of all those bills with the consolidation loan, Stan.
Oh, great. See, I started with a correspondence course in impressions. Judy. You know who that is?
No.
Neither did anybody else, Bob. Then, at magician school, I lost $140 worth of rabbits in one day.
Oh,
wow, I've really got some bills, Bob.
Well, that's what a consolidation loan's for.
I was going to give up showbiz, Bob, till I discovered comedian school. Now I'm ready to roll them under the aisle.
Lots of luck.
I make my debut in 30 seconds.
Great.
I'm going to wow them with that story about the talking penguin and the bubble dance.
I see.
Have you heard that one, Bob?
No, I haven't.
Darn, I can't remember it either. Could you ask around the office, Bob?
Why not? After all, you can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance. There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Call Andover 32020, also an office in Joliet.
Blackhawks 3, Montreal Canadiens nothing after 2 periods from jam-packed Chicago Stadium. Blackhawks led 1-0 after 1. Chicago took a quick 2-0 lead early in period number 2. I should say Ivan Boldirev scoring his second power play goal of the night. Boldirev in the right corner, out to Coro. Back to Wilson. Big shot, he fired it wide. Boldirev, the shot, he scores! Ivan Boldirev scooping up the loose puck. Off the rebound from the board, firing it in past Dryden. Boldirev gets his second power play goal. And the Hawks take a 2-0 lead. Doug Wilson and Cliff Corral on the assists at 27 seconds of the second period. Chicago took a 3-0 lead as the power play unit clicked again late in period 2. Bob Murray coming out, left wing pass for Marks, and across. Marks gives it to Russell. Russell backhand to J.P. Bordeleau. From the fire wing is Russell. Gave it to him across the goal crease. Banged it in with Russell and Marks assisting. Russell gave it to Spinorama in front of the goaltender, a backhand pass right through the goal crease. JP was there to bang it in. 3-0 Chicago then after 2 well-played periods in the stadium. 14 Montreal shots in that second period. Tony Esposito made some excellent saves on the Montreal shooters. Chicago had 5. Blackhawk penalty killers have been flawless tonight, flanking Montreal on their 4 power play opportunities. Our intermission guest is Ken McKenzie, the president and publisher of the Hockey News, a Hockey Bible. I'm sure a lot of you are subscribers, and we'll be back to talk with Mr. McKenzie after this message.
Adidas. Ever wonder why that name is on everybody's T-shirt? Well, look down. It's on everybody's feet as well. In fact, the Adidas Stan Smith is the most popular tennis shoe in the world. And the Adidas TRX running shoe is moving up fast. Why? Well, they're great shoes. So the next time you see an Adidas T-shirt, look down and look for your nearest Athletic Addict store. Fox Valley Center, Aurora, Evergreen Plaza in Evergreen Park, and at 2715 Black Road in Joliet.
It's a pleasure to welcome Ken McKenzie to our WCFL microphones. Ken is certainly well known around the hockey circles as president and publisher of the Hockey News, which comes to us this time of the year every week with just about everything you'd want to know about hockey on all levels. Ken, as it is every year, a pleasure to see you.
Well, it's a pleasure to see you, Andy. We've met in various cities over the years. I think teams want to keep track of you, but I want to welcome you here to Chicago, and I'm sure that the fans will be very pleased with your games throughout the season.
Well, we've been pleased to see a super hockey game here in the first two periods. The Blackhawks seem to respond to these big crowds. They beat the Bruins last week 6-5 in front of just under 16,000. Outstanding room only tonight, like it was a few years ago in Chicago, and let's hope it continues.
That's right. I used to come here more frequently than I do at the present time. And I remember this was common. This was the everyday occurrence of crowds like this. It's certainly been a fine game tonight, and the way the Hawks are playing, they should really win this game because they're really going on. I never seen them play better than they have for the last 2 or 3 years.
Ken, I know you make your headquarters in Montreal. Could you give us any insights on the Guy Lafleur situation? He seems to be a happy hockey player now.
Well, I guess he is, and he quite caused quite a furor when it broke Montreal last week, and apparently he renegotiated the contract. You know the story. He wasn't going to dress and play against Toronto Maple Leafs in the way that he sat in the dressing room until the last minute before he put his clothes on and got on the ice. And a lot of people do think, though, that he should have been settled before the season started. It looked like he kind of had the gun to the head of the club. I mean, you know, renegotiating contracts is not unknown and not new, but I think it could have been handled a little differently. But apparently he's got really settled away now, and now he's going to concentrate on hockey. And you know, Canadians do have to lose tonight and lose to the New York Rangers last night. It's really tough for them to lose 2 games in a week. And they haven't, they're in second place now in the division, which is really unusual because they're very seldom out of first place, as you know.
There seems to be, and maybe it's too early to tell and too quick to make a judgment, but there seems to be a growing balance in the National Hockey League. Montreal, if they lose tonight, will drop back to 500. Detroit is in first place in the North. The Atlanta Flames, although they've had a good club in the last few years, are off to a great start at 7-0-2. They lead the Patrick Division. The New York Rangers won tonight. They are experiencing a resurgence under Fred Shero, 5-1-3. Do you see a trend here? Is balance coming back to the NHL?
Well, I have to say so at the present time, Andy. And I was just talking with the editor of the Hockey News the other day, and we were going over the various clubs, and almost every one we could think of seemed to be improved over last year. I'm not too sure about Washington. They may not have improved as much as they should have. But most of them, I mean, on paper, they look like they improved. They lose to like everybody too, especially got. So it could be a great thing if it did get back to that parity as they talk about it. Because actually, as you know, the hockey fan, it would be a good thing for hockey if someone that team rather than the Canadians won. I would say an American team. Chicago's a big Blackhawks team, but an American team, you know, because Canadians dominate the sport like they have for so the last 3 years. It's not the best thing.
Ken McKenzie, our guest, the president and publisher of the Hockey News. And Ken, it's a new hockey season. What's new and different with your publication, the Hockey News?
Well, we now have the attractive 4-color coverage of the big stars of the league. We started that towards the end of last season, which a lot of people like. And we're going to have about 3 pages of U.S. college hockey starting with the next issue in November, which I think American readers are going to enjoy a lot. And we're trying to get more good features in there, but people like those colored covers. And Andy, if I might say so, if anybody would like to get a free complimentary copy of the Hockey News, all they have to do is drop a note to the Hockey News, Box 248, Montreal, Canada. Box 248, Bay City, Montreal, Canada. We'd like to send them a copy. I think they did good.
Chicago Chicago 3, Montreal nothing after 3 periods from the stadium. Ken McKenzie, our guest, the president, publisher of the Hockey News, back with more after this message.
Nothing tells you so much about Zenith quality as the Zenith itself. So stop in today at your Zenith dealer and let a new 1979 Zenith with electronic tuning tell you the story of a real color TV value. Just take a look at the picture you get on a Zenith Color TV with EVG, the Zenith Electronic Video Guard Tuning. EVG is designed to help keep the Zenith picture sharp and clear for years and years, not just when the TV set's new. The VHF or UHF tuners have no internal moving parts to corrode, wear, or cause picture problems. So the tuning system should last longer too. And this should mean fewer service problems. With EVG, you get direct positive signal reception every time you select a channel, whether by the Zenith one-knob touch command or remote control channel selector systems. EVG is on selected Chromacolor 2 models in every Zenith screen size category and on all Zenith System 3 models. Prices for models with Zenith Electronic Video Guard tuning start from as low as $399.95. Distributor suggested retail price. Zenith urges you to give your fair share to the Crusade of Mercy.
Having Ken McKenzie beside me brings to mind a weekly Monday battle in the Blackhawks office. Bob Pulford is a subscriber to the Hockey News. His copy comes in, and it's a three-way scramble every Monday morning between Bob Pulford, myself, and Bobby Orr to get the Hockey News. Seeing that I'm the low man on the totem pole in seniority in this organization, I always have to wait until they finish with it. To get more papers in here. I think we're going to have to order more subscriptions. But Ken, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I know that your paper now is on a weekly basis. You might explain that to the listeners. During the summer months, when the teams aren't playing, you go to a monthly format, but now every week, jam-packed full of facts and figures and stories.
Yes, and it comes out every week. It comes out the press every Tuesday for 33 weeks, starting in early October right through to the end of the Stanley Cup Finals in May, and it's once a month, June, July, August, and September. And we date it about 10 days in advance when it comes out the press, and we try to get the stuff as timely as we can. We're trying to encourage and write more about some of the minor leagues because people like to know what's coming up, what players are coming up to the big league, they'll get the background. And we have to try to cover the American League a little before and the Central Hockey League.
Chicago 3, Montreal nothing after 2 periods from Chicago Stadium, and the crowd figure has just been handed me 17,223, standing room only, to see the Blackhawks take on the Montreal Canadiens, and looks like hockey is on the resurgence, if you will, here in Chicago.
Yes, it's nice to see that big crowd. Last time I was here, I think it was the All-Star game, but I used to come, as I say, very, very frequently, and it was always crowded like this. It's a great thing. They think we're hockey. Hockey is back in the upswing.
Hopefully that the balance we were talking about will come about because, every city likes to see a winner, at least a competitive hockey club, and that seems to be what the trend is now in professional hockey. But the Montreal Canadiens, they've had their problems. We talked about Eva Flirt. The Canadiens are sort of experiencing what the rest of the people in the league have experienced now. A few problems on defense with Bill Nyrop retiring, Engblom injured, and Pierre Bouchard in his situation. So Canadians aren't quite as deep on the back line as they had been.
They still got some pretty good boys.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Savard, Point, and Larry Robinson. In fact, everybody says Montreal Canadiens have so much depth that they can afford to have a few stars sidelines. They certainly have a solid aggregation, but they have had, this is one of the slowest starts that I can remember in recent years for Canadians.
We talked about Ken's duties as president and publisher of the Hockey News, but you also write a very informative column each week called Passing the Puck about the third or fourth page of the Hockey News. You must have an awful lot of fun compiling the information that goes into passing the puck. You have to keep your finger right on the pulse of hockey at every level. Make a lot of phone calls, make a lot of trips.
It's a lot of fun, I really do. It's really a labor of love, Andy. You can think about it. When you travel around, it makes it easier. You can get a lot more information. And then I fellas, you do say, send me a lot of notes. Then I steal a few items from other papers. It's the city fun.
There was an item in your column a couple of weeks ago that I know created a lot of comment around Chicago. You talked about a rumored deal between the New York Rangers and the Blackhawks. Bobby Hull writes, going to the Rangers, still
really going to happen, but I thought I made a very choice item at the time, and I got it from a hockey writer in New York. But really, when I analyzed, I thought it was pretty much a long shot. I guess you did too.
At this time, I'd say it is a long shot, but it certainly was interesting from a speculative sense. Ken McKenzie, a pleasure to see you again, and best of luck, and keep sending that hockey news. We all depend on it.
Thank you very much, Andy. Good luck to you this season.
Ken McKenzie, our guest, president, publisher of the Hockey News. 3-0, the Blackhawks lead Canadians after 2 periods. Back with the third period action after this break.
Say, if you want more energy, if you just plain want to feel better and more alive, you know you can. You don't have to drag through your days only to toss and turn at bedtime. Why not be your own best friend and give yourself a break? Look into the world of natural foods and vitamins at the Fruitful Yield health stores. Let the Fruitful Yield's expert professional consulting staff, including athletic director Richard Perkins, chemist Al Richards, and Dr. Richard Hewitson, introduce you to the you that you could be. Invest in yourself today, my friend. Stop into a Fruitful Yield store. Find out how to feel so great that it shows. The Fruitful Yield stores are located at 6606 West Sumac Road in Berwyn and in Downers Grove, Elmhurst, Hanover Park, Lombard, and Skokie. WCFL Radio, Chicago 60610.
Chicago 3, the Montreal Canadiens nothing after 40 minutes of play. Blackhawks back on the ice. Keith Magnuson leading the charge out of the runway. And the fans giving the Blackhawks a warm reception after what they've seen through 2 periods. Nothing to complain about on the Blackhawks side of the ledger. 2 Chicago goals for Ivan Boldirev. J.P. Bordeleau scoring his 5th of the year. All 3 Chicago goals have been of the power play variety. Cliff Coyle and Doug Wilson assisting on the first 2. Russell and Marks on the 3rd goal. Montreal with a 26-16 edge shot. Blackhawk penalty killers have been letter perfect. Blanking Montreal on 4 power play opportunities. Chicago 3 for 7 with the man advantage. 2 finals in. The only other games being played in the NHL are over. The New York Rangers defeated Pittsburgh 3-2 at Madison Square Garden. Rangers now 5-1 and 3 off to a tremendous start under Fred Hero. And Vancouver defeated Philadelphia at the Spectrum 5-2. For the moment, the Vancouver Canucks pull into a first-place Ice Division tie with the Blackhawks. Both clubs with 9 points. Vancouver has played 10 games. Chicago playing its 8th this evening. Both teams on the ice. Referee Newell is ready to play. Don't forget, the Blackhawks will be back here Wednesday. Take on the Vancouver Canucks at 7:30. CFL airtime 7:25 if you can't make it down in person. Saturday we'll be in St. Louis. Airtime 7:55. Back home Sunday to meet the revitalized St. Louis Blues. Face-off 7:30. Blackhawks taking a little time and deciding on a lineup to start the period. Finally, Nikita comes out with Marks and Bordeleau, Russell and Magnuson on the back line. We're underway in period number 3. Both clubs at full strength. Chicago leading Montreal 3-0. Shot in behind the Canadian net. Larry Robinson there, challenged by J.P. Bordeleau. Touch for icing by Robinson of Montreal. Chicago looking to atone for last night's subpar performance. 7-2 loss at Detroit. The Red Wings certainly had a lot to do with the Chicago loss. They played their best game of the year. Adamansky scored 3 goals. Cloutier scored 2. Lafleur's shot is blocked. Kept in by Robinson up from the point. Montreal will have to gamble here in the 3rd period. We saw evidence of that with Robinson racing in from the blue line there. Chicago clearing the zone. Guy Lafleur back after. Blackhawks will have to keep up the forechecking pressure. If you let Montreal move the puck out of their own zone under control consistently, they're going to score goals. Here's Lemaire at the red line. Poke check by Magnuson has played a strong game. Jumps down the boards. It comes out to Nikita at the Hawk line across to Russell who's poke check. Now it trickles into the Montreal end. Serge Savard across for Robinson, kept in by Bordeleau. Off to Makita, quick shot. Dryden with a chest save on Makita's withdrawn. Now it's kept in by Makita. Big shot, he whistled it wide from the right circle as Canadians were sloppy and clearing. Sent down the length of the rink. Bill Russell getting it from Esposito, cleared to Magnuson now. Montreal changing on the move, as are the Blackhawks. Chicago ahead 3-0 in the third period at the stadium. Tucked in behind the Blackhawk goal. Esposito sends it on the far wing. Napier keeping it in for Montreal. Centering pass picked off by J. Bob Kelly. Kelly back to the net for Chicago. Trying to go around Steve Schutt. Wing-to-wing pass for Harrison of the Blackhawks. Harrison moving in, shooting. Blyden grabbed it with the glove as the shot was deflected. Well, Scotty Bowman, who loves to jumble his lines even on good nights, is really going to scramble them here in the third period. He has Mondu out centering for Schutt on the left wing. And the right winger looks like Mark Napier. Bowman once had 27 different line combinations in a 60-minute hockey game. Dumped in behind the Montreal goal. Dryden blocking it for Lupien. Lupien on the left wing for Schutt. Kept in by Orr, who's played well in the Chicago defense, paired with Doug Wilson. Lupien starting out. He lost it to Boldirev. Kept in by Coyle. Coyle firing it back to the net. In goes Ted Bully against Dryden. Comes out to Boldirev. 3-0 Chicago leading. Boldirev sends it toward the Montreal goal. Stolen by Guy Lapointe. Head manning for Napier. Napier in a cross. Mondu is offside ahead of the play.
Well, here we are with 17:58 to go in this hockey match, and the Blackhawks leading by a score of 3-0. Teams at even strength. If we don't have a complete collapse in the next 17 minutes and 58 seconds, we'll be back in undisputed possession of first place in our division. Vancouver moved into a tie with us by beating Philadelphia earlier tonight 5-2.
Boldirev and Mondu on the face-off in center. Bully on the left wing, tied up by Napier. Mondu scoops it into the zone. Bully strips the puck away, though. Now Mark Napier in center ice. Scored 60 goals in the WHA 2 years ago. Mondu in a cross, took a body check from Coyle. Now Boldirev can't clear. Finally Orr fires it on the far boards in Chicago ice. Bully turns it out at center. Boldirev couldn't flag that down. Montreal brings it in. Steve Schutt down the left board. Pushed off the play by Orr. Triggered around to the right board. Napier in Chicago ice. Sandwiched out of the play by Wilson. Bully coming back for Chicago. Taken away by Chartrand at the Montreal blue line. Now Mark Napier turning. Napier firing it in right wing for Chartrand. Stolen by Wilson. He can't clear. It's kept in. Sutton taking a drive to Bob Kelly. Had it well covered. The puck up and out of play.
Down to 17-11. 3-0 hockey game. Mentioning Vancouver leading Philadelphia tonight. They'll be here in the stadium this coming Wednesday as we celebrate the arrival of the month of November. Second meeting between these two teams. We tied them 3-3 back on Sunday, October 15th. So we'll see what we'll do against the guys in the basic black uniforms on Wednesday night.
The Canucks have now scored 40 goals in 10 games. That's an average of 4 per game, and so they're an explosive team. And that 3-3 tie here a couple of weeks ago, Pitt Martin scored 2 goals against his old Hawk teammate. Across the line, he's grabbed by Savard. Mulvey was trying to center for Bob Kelly. Savard grabbed Grant Mulvey, and he draws the penalty. So the Blackhawks get their 8th power play of the hockey game. Savard grabbing Mulvey and wrestling into the ice. 17 minutes even to play. In the third period, Chicago leading 3-0. Boldirev has scored 2, Bordeleau scored 1. Tony Esposito has stood tall in goal. He's got 14 shots in period 2 alone. Makita to take the draw, centering the power play line with Rhoda and Begg as wingers. Montreal winning the draw, rise draw, dumping it off the boards. Russell flags it down in center. Now in his own zone for Bob Murray. Cross for Russell up the left wing. He gives it for Makita. Makita in across the line for Rhoda. Rhoda walking in toward the net, shooting! That went just wide of the net from a bad angle. Now Montreal clears the puck down the length of the ice. Rhoda took a shot from a deep angle down the left wing. That must have hit his skate to go wide. Rhoda coming back, getting it for Degg, who's tipped up by Jarvis and across the line. Now Murray along the boards with Robinson. Rhoda trying to dig it loose. They hold for a face-off in the Montreal end.
Minute 22 left on the Savard holding penalty. The Blackhawks in their 8th power play situation of the night. In the first 7, 3 goals. All of us scoring tonight on the power plays. 2 Boldirev and a Bordeleau. Nikita waiting for somebody to face off again. In the circle to the left to Don Dryden. Ken Dryden, where'd I get Don?
Brother Dave plays for Edmonton in the WHA. It is Dave. He may have a brother John who doesn't play hockey.
He must have.
I know. Montreal controlling the puck. Gila Point out on the far wing. Canadian penalty killing. A pass ahead 2-5 for Jarvis. Rolling in on the Chicago net. Murray clears it back of the goal for Russell. Russell out to Rhoda. Montreal forcing the issue. Although they're a man short here, they trail 3-0 with time running out in the third period. Still 15:55 to go, though, and the Canadians can score goals quickly and in bunches. So the Hawks cannot afford to sit back on their laurels. Chicago coming out. Russell the puck carrier. Russell over the red line. Backhand pass in toward the net. Robinson stole it from Rhoda, but the Hawks were offside.
Now 40 seconds left on the power play. Don Dryden, I just remembered, he's got an Edsel dealership in Cicero. That's right. Yeah. Business is quite good. Face-offs will be out near center ice between the red line and the blue line. Boldirev and Lemaire. 3-0 Hawks. 40 seconds left on the power play.
From the draw, shot to Doug Wilson across for Orr. Fresh defense for Chicago. Ahead for Boldirev. A new line out. Pulley in on left wing. Pulley muscling down the boards around the Gila Point check. Shot out toward the far circle. Boldirev knocks it away. A backhand shot right through the slot area. Orr couldn't keep it in on the point. Here's Gila Fleur stealing, walking in, shooting. Wow. Esposito with a great stop. And a rising shot by Gila Fleur. Esposito was screened there, too, and he still made the save. Now Boldirev in across for Bully. Bully on the left wing. Sends it back to the net for Boldirev. Boldirev across for Coyle, who couldn't settle for a shot. Now Boldirev a big drive himself. He misses top shelf. Kept in by Bully, back on the point. Or a shot. Glove saved by Dryden. Montreal has killed off the penalty now. On the far wing, Doug Wilson keeping it in. To Boldirev, far circle against Gila Point. Boldirev on the left wing. Giving it for Coyle back to the net. Now to Ted Bully behind the Montreal goal. He's knocked down. Comes off to Boldirev. Tried to feed the point, but the pass went awry, and Orr has to retreat into the Chicago zone. Orr slides it for Doug Wilson. Wilson, across the line, his shot is blocked up and out of play by Larry Robinson. With the score, Chicago 3, Montreal nothing. Let's pause for this message.
You're doing what I'm doing right now, having a cold butter. You really know what the fine art of relaxing is all about. But when you think nice, a bush thing to it.
Blackhawks certainly showing a lot of heart tonight, bouncing back from a 5-goal defeat at Detroit last night. They played superbly so far this evening, leading Montreal 3-0. Logan keeps it in from the face-off. Canadians break off. Napier streaking down the right wing, faking the shot, now blasting one toward the net. Esposito made the stop. Napier taking a check in the corner as Bud Kelly fires it wing to wing, too far for Harrison. Dryden had to come out of the net to clear it. It's kept in for Bud Kelly. Kelly at the right circle, down the board, centering the puck, knocked away from Mulvey. Mulvey tried to shoot from his knees, but Canadians start back. Scott in on left wing, drop pass for Mondu, centering, fire wing Napier. He's tied up by a back-checking Jimmy Harrison. Chicago starts back. Logan firing from the left wing board. He dumps it in. Dryden blocking it behind for Savard. 3-0 Chicago. Savard headman. Here's Napier in a cross. Showing some flashy moves. He's checked though. Back in the point, Starstraw drilling his shot. That's wide of the net, kept in by Savard, left point. Savard shot blocked by Mulvey. Kept in by Savard again. He fires one wide of the net. Off to John Marks of Chicago. Out to center ice. Marks taking it across the line for Bob Murray. A drive, save, rebound. Marks couldn't put it in. A tough chance for Marks. He couldn't convert. Now the Canadians control at Chicago. Changes on the move. Steve shot out at center, in across for Rydesby. Takes a check from Russell. Blackhawks back. Nikita in on left wing. Nikita down the slot. He's pump check. It's kept in by Bordeleau. Bordeleau has it knocked off his stick by Lupien out to center. Dumped in by Russell. Chicago outside.
We are seeing the great Blackhawk hustle tonight, and it's been that way throughout most of the game. It has 12 minutes and 51 seconds remaining, and the Blackhawks leading by a 3-0 count. Ivan Boldirev continues to pace the team in scoring, getting 2 goals tonight. He's now a total of 12 points. He has scored in his last 6 games. Points, that is, one way or another. Face-off near center ice. 12:51 to go, third period. Montreal down by 3.
17,223 standing room only at the stadium. Second big crowd on the second straight Sunday, and the second excellent performance by the Hawks. Last Sunday they beat Boston. Stanley Cup finalist last year, 6-5. Hawks bring it in. Bordeleau backhand shot. He missed the net. Russell racing on the left point, keeping it in, shooting it down the boards. In back of the net, Dryden, the big Montreal goalkeeper, clears it on the near wing. Now Rise draw at the Hawk line, written off the play by Russell. Fired out to center by Darcy Rhoda. Rhoda lost control, and there with a puck for Montreal. He shoots it in behind the Hawk net, played by Russell there. Russell around Cournoyer. Cournoyer controlling, giving it for Rise draw up to Lambert, right wing pass. Cournoyer, too well covered. Kept in by Rydstraw. Now Cournoyer giving it to Lambert. Ahead for Rydstraw. Moving in. He fanned for a shot. And we have a Chicago penalty upcoming. Pushing and shoving after the penalty call as Lupien and Magnuson have words. Alain Begg has a hold of Yvonne Lambert. Rydstraw was sent in by Cournoyer. Russell and another Blackhawk combined to knock Rydstraw down, and now Lupien wants to get after a Chicago player. 12 minutes remaining in the hockey game. 3-0 Chicago. It's 5 for this announcement.
Hey, calm down. It's just a simple transmission problem.
I'm calm.
Good. Now, where shall we take the car?
To the city dump, you piece of garbage. Not you. I'm talking to the car.
Come to Amco. We'll go through our procedures with you right there, so you know the service we recommend is the service you need.
It was a simple transmission problem, and Amco fixed it.
I still love you.
Really?
I'm talking to the car. So we've got a 2-minute hooking penalty on Alain Begg coming at exactly 8 minutes into the period, leaving 12, of course. And the Montreal Canadiens will have the power play for the 5th time in the game tonight. In the first 4, they could not get one by Esposito. Let's see what happens now.
3-0 Chicago face off in the hot zone. LeFleur along the board, sending it back to the net for Rajon Houle. Russell takes it away, giving it to Mark. Mark can't clear. Kept in by Gila Point, shot behind the Chicago goal. Russell there, firing it off the glass. Out to center, Jacques Lemaire grabbing the puck for Montreal. Canadians on the power play. Alain Begg in for hooking. 11:35 to go, third period. Here's Shutt, putting on a move, spreading the defense, walking in. Back pass in the slot for LeFleur, blocked by Russell, who cuts that off beautifully. Magnuson behind the net, handing it to Phil Russell. Fires the puck up and out of play, face off in the Blackhawks zone.
Well, 23 left on the power play for Montreal. Big gone for hooking. And the Blackhawk penalty killers called upon for the 5th time tonight. This is their 28th short-handed situation of the year. They've been scored on 5 times. None tonight in 5. Wilson coming on the ice and Bobby Orr coming on. The Blackhawks make changes. 1:23 left. Now the penalty to Begg. 11:23 in the game.
Phil Russell and Keith Magnuson getting a big round of applause as they come off. The Chicago defense has played a spirited game, an intelligent game, and a physical game here tonight against the always dangerous Canadians. It's a tough night for defenders when Montreal is the opposition, as they always put so much pressure on in the defensive zone. Off the draw, Mark's trying to fight at the center. Gila Point sends it in toward the net. Shot, a backhand shot, Bobby Orr knocks him down with a ridiculous Chicago penalty. So the Blackhawks will be too short. Orr going off. As he jumps. He shot. not too pleased with the call. Mr. Schutt, I think, embellished that one a bit.
Well, we're really going to be put to the test now for at least a minute and 13 seconds. Blackhawks with only 3 men on the ice. Begg and Orr both gone. 5 Canadiens skating against us. Face-off, Blackhawks zone. We're still ahead, 3-0, but within the next couple of minutes, that could change, and change rapidly. Montreal, of course, would like to get one before Begg comes back, so they still have a power play with Oregon.
Face-off in Chicago ice. Nikita, the only forward, with Russell and Magnuson on again after a brief rest. Orr and Begg in the Chicago penalty box. 2-man advantage for Montreal. Nikita won the draw. Magnuson drills it off the board. Travel length of the ring. Great clearing effort by Magnuson. Dryden way out of his net, feeding it ahead quickly. 2-line pass called on Montreal. Magnuson just drilled it off the glass down the length of the ring. After Nikita won the faceoff.
Minute 3 left on Begg. Minute 50 left on Orr. Face-off coming in the Montreal zone. Only 3 of our guys out there against 5 of them. Nikita waits for the face-off.
Nikita and Jacques Lemaire on the draw. Larry Robinson controlling now as Montreal forms the play. They have 2-man advantage. Back pass for Lemaire. Right wing to Robinson. Then across the line. Canadians are whistled on the outside. Yvonne Lambert a bit deep with the linesman Leon Sickle over that offside call.
I believe he said, are you certain about that? Or words to that effect. Faced off in the neutral zone, just outside the Hawk blue line.
Whatever the French equivalent is.
Best we not know.
55 seconds on the first Blackhawk minor to Begg. 3-0 Chicago, 10:55 to go, period 3 from the stadium. LaPointe dumps it in. He took an elbow from Russell. The puck in back of Tony Esposito. He has trouble clearing, kept in by Lambert. Feeding the left point for Lemaire. Lemaire walking in down the boards. Lemaire to the goal line. Out to Lafleur. His shot blocked. The rebound loose at the side of the net. Jacques Lemaire looking to center. Out to Robinson. He keeps it in with his glove. 50 feet away to Guy Lapointe. Back to Robinson. Big shot. Rebound loose. Lemaire. A backhand shot. Skate save by Esposito. Steps in for Robinson of Montreal. Across for Lapointe. Drilling a shot. Pass save. Rebound loose. Esposito covers up. They score. Well, Esposito did everything he could in a scramble in front. Finally, Montreal put it in on about the third rebound. And there goes Tony Esposito's shutout. But the Hawks still lead it 3-1. Begg is out of the box. Orr has 59 seconds to serve. Montreal trailing by 2 goals now, and debris cascades down from the balconies here at Chicago Stadium.
This is going to take a while.
Fans are not too happy with the second minor call on Bobby Orr, which gave Montreal 2-man advantage.
Well, that, of course, is what Montreal wanted to do, get 1 goal in while the Hawks were still 2 men short. That means Begg is back. We have 4 skaters now, but Orr has to sit out his 59 seconds left on the 2-minute call for hooking back at 8:47. I wasn't too much of a prophet when I mentioned that before, but so far it has come true. We'll hope the the other half doesn't materialize. 3-1, 10 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. The stadium crew is clearing the ice of various bits and pieces of junk floating down from above.
Well, with the score, Chicago 3, Montreal 1. Let's pause for this message.
Recently, a homeowner called our office quite upset because he had tried to remove the wallpaper in his wallboard home. We explained to him that it is very difficult to remove wallpaper from the cardboard surface of drywall without sustaining considerable damage. We informed him that there is a system of plastering over this board to give him a dense, rock-hard surface. Afterwards, we could not help but think how much grief he might have saved himself if he had only inquired if the home was plastered before he purchased it. Sincerely, the Chicago Plastering Institute.
Not only are the fans a bit upset with the penalty called by the referee Newell, but Bobby Orr is hot under the collar, still parked in the Chicago penalty box. Orr is standing up, still conversing with Dave Newell over that second minor with which Orr was saddled. Montreal has scored. Lemaire from Lambert and Lapointe at 9:48 of the third. Power play while the Canadians enjoyed two-man advantage. Chicago leading 3-1. Montreal still with power play. 55 seconds on Orr's minor. De Lapointe firing it off the boards in back of the net. Esposito flags it down, shoots it past Lambert out to Bob Murray. They tie it up on the boards for a face-off in Chicago ice. Well, Esposito played brilliantly, has played brilliantly throughout the game. He made a series of miracle saves. Bob Lambert with a skate save that defies description. Kept in, here's Lemaire from the point, triggering one wide off the marks on the open fire wing, shooting it into the Montreal end. Jacques Lemaire there, sliding it for Lafleur. Lafleur starting back and across the line. Lafleur setting up at the right point, triggering a pass for Lemaire. Takes a shot, blocked by Murray. Murray looking to clear, getting it to Bordeleau. Up the left wing, too far for Mark. 20 seconds on the Orr penalty. Chicago ahead 3-1. Montreal has just broken the shutout. De Lapointe ahead for Lambert. On the right for Lafleur, in across the line. Lafleur at the right point, triggering it into the corner, hit the referee Newell. Held in by Robinson, back to Lafleur, banging a low shot, deflection just wide as Lambert got a solid stick on it. Now Lambert back to the goal, looking to center, goal mouth pass. Lapointe banged it wide. Lemaire looking to put it in front. Esposito covers up. Now Lambert and Logan square off back of the goal. Well, De Lapointe had a golden opportunity there as he slid in, snuck in, whatever. He was there, mysteriously sneaking in from the near point.
Well, Lafleur really has a blast from that point. He fires it. Changes all around. The Hawks have withstood the Orr penalty. Bobby's back. Well, he's still on the ice. As a matter of fact, he was heading toward the bench. Now he's gone back on the play floor. Jacques Lemaire gets his fourth goal of the year, 3 assists for 7 points. Assisting on to Von Lambert and De Lapointe at 9:48. We're down to 9:04 to play. It's a 3-1 hockey game. The teams are now back at full and equal strength.
Face off to the left of Tony Esposito in Chicago ice. What a hockey game. With a standing room only crowd, the Blackhawks certainly have risen to the occasion in front of this packed house at the stadium. Kept in, Chartrand, low shot, wide of Tony Esposito. Orr grabbing the puck, flicking it ever so gingerly on the boards to Cliff Coyle, who's double-teamed. Kept in, Doug Wilson, though, clears it for Bully. Bully up the left wing, dumping it near corner. After the puck, Cliff Coyle kept in. Boldirev a shot, Bully just missed, poking it in back door from the left side of the net. Now Boldirev forechecking off with the puck, giving it to Bully, who's stripped of the puck in Cornway. Starts back. He fires from center. Esposito grabs it with a glove. In back of the net for Orr. Ted Bully almost got that goal back for Chicago as Boldirev gave it to him with a backhand pass. Now Chartrand center, flicking it wide of the Chicago goal. Cliff Coyle is knocked down by Schutt. No penalty there. Schutt, left side of the net, centering. Pass broken up nicely as Chicago comes out. Boldirev on the left wing for Bully. Bully flicks it into Montreal ice. 8 minutes remaining. Chicago changing on the fly. Blackhawks leading 3-1. Jim Harrison fires it off the boards.
Puck trickling to the Montreal line. Serge Savard, who won the Conn Smythe Trophy, is playoff MVP in '69. He shoots it behind the Hawk net, touched for icing by a hustling Phil Russell.
7:46. That's how long we got to hold on. That's what I want us just to lay back completely and hold on. Another goal wouldn't hurt any to get back to one that came on the manpower advantage to Jacques Lemaire at 9:48. Face off to the left of Dryden now. 3-1. Blackhawks leading. Next game, Wednesday night, right here, 7:30. Vancouver on the air, 7:25. Then a weekend series against the St. Louis Blues. Saturday there, and Sunday night here. A lot of action at the stadium. Here's the face-off.
Harrison flipped one wide of the Montreal goal. Dryden turned it on the point. Here's Mulvey centering. Harrison deflected it wide of the net. Kept in by Kelly. A hard check on Rydesbrough. Now Harrison is taken to the boards by Larry Robinson. This Chicago line of Harrison, Mulvey, and Kelly throwing their weight around. Now Montreal breaking out. Rydesbrough up the left wing. And across for Mondu. Giving it to Lapointe. A shot. Esposito grabbed it with a glove.
That holds on with 7:22 remaining. Montreal pressuring. Up by 2 goals. Face off to the right of Esposito, deep down in the Blackhawks zone.
You're listening to the Voice of Labor, AM 10 WCFL, Chicago. Rydesbrough out on the left wing with Mondu centering. Mark Napier on the right side. Harrison taking a draw on Chicago ice. Mondu clears it back for Robinson. He guns a shot wide. Puck in the far wing. Bob Kelly clears it out to center. Shot back in. Logan fires it to neutral ice. Now it comes out for Rydesbrough and on right wing against Harrison, centering for Mondu. He's knocked down. The puck comes off to Murray. Murray through center, lagging it in wide of the Montreal goal. Chicago just dumping the puck in now. Montreal starting back on the right. The long headmanning pass stolen by Murray. Taken away by Montreal's Rydesbrough and across the line. He lost it. Now it comes off for Napier. Left wing corner. On the point, Robinson a shot. Rydesbrough flicked it wide of the net. Here's Rhoda. Back for Chicago. Moving in, shooting. Fired it wide as Dryden came 30 feet out of his net. Now Mulvey is shot. He fired that wide with Dryden scrambling back in. Kept in by Russell. Russell has it go up and out of play off his stick. Wolf Darcy Rhoda and Grant Mulvey had chances as Montreal goaltender Ken Dryden got just a bit adventurous there.
Boy, he really came out. A good 25 to 30 feet. Now we got a problem with the Montreal goal. Being adjusted, it was knocked off the post. So I guess a little bit some of that action down there because the stadium crew is out to work on that now. 6 minutes and 29 seconds remain. 3-1 hockey game.
Rhoda raced down the fireboard, caught up with the puck and Dryden. Maybe miscalculated a bit. He came out of the net trying to beat Rhoda to the play. Rhoda got there first and fired, but just wide of the net. The puck came to Mulvey on the right board. Dryden was still scrambling back in when Mulvey let a heavy shot go, but it went up over the crossbar. 3-1 Chicago. 6:29 to play in the hockey game. Blackhawks led 3-0 until Lemaire scored with Montreal enjoying 2-man advantage midway through this the third period. Chicago led 1-0 after 1, 3-0 after 2. All 3 Blackhawk goals. Power play, Boldirev twice, J.P. Bordeleau once. LaFleur in on left wing, back pass into the slot, knocked away by Marks. Marks on the boards against Guy LaFleur. They tie up with Magnuson joining the pile. Well, you could tell that Keith Magnuson had an awful lot of energy bottled up inside him last night. He was seething when the Hawks fell behind after 2 periods. He was most upset, and he's taken out his frustrations on Montreal skaters tonight. An aggressive game for Maggie. Kept in by Savard. Passed across on the point, stolen by Marks. He works it out to center. And again, the Hawks dump it into the Canadian zone. There's Savard back in the net. Marks tried to center. It comes out to LaFleur. LaFleur, the spinorama in the far corner, as only he can spin. LaFleur giving it to Gainey. Return pass to LaFleur coming out. He's hit with a heavy body check. Blackhawks keep it in. Makita wasting time along the board. Tied up by Gainey. Makita dumps it off the glass to puck dangerously in the Montreal goal crease. Stolen by J.P. Bordeleau. Centering for Makita. He couldn't get the stick down. Montreal starts back. Start draw. Headmanning for Lemaire. Lemaire couldn't hang on. Esposito clears it off the boards for J.P. Bordeleau. Out at center for Makita. Montreal gaining possession again as Lemaire darts back. He fires it in off Marks' stick. 5:10 to go in the third period. Blackhawks leading 3-1 here at home against the elites of the National Hockey League. The Stanley Cup champion Montreal Canadiens. Both teams changing on the move. Lapointe hugging the puck in across the attacking blue line. A four-man Montreal rush broken up by Coyle. Kept in by Lapointe, though, for shots in Montreal. Called for batting the puck. A hand pass here on Canadians. Under 5 minutes to play, and this would be the win of the year so far in the young season for Chicago. Especially in light of what happened last night in the 7-2 loss at Detroit. A complete turnabout for Chicago tonight. Boldirev and Rajan-Uhl inside the Chicago blue line. They muck for the puck, and it's cleared back to Bobby Orr. Orr sends it for Doug Wilson. Wilson, a wing-to-wing pass. Robinson couldn't keep it in. A dangerous pass in the Chicago zone, but the Hawks get away with it. Dumped down the board, stolen by Coyle. He keeps it in the Canadiens' end for Bully, who couldn't flag it down. Now Wilson stayed back at the blue line, playing it conservatively. The Hawks are trying to protect the 2-goal lead against Montreal. Shot in, Doug Wilson carries it back to center. Rink-wide pass stolen by Larry Robinson. In for Scott, drilling a shot. He missed. Top shelf. They let Scott have that open shot on the left wing, and that's a no-no in a close hockey game because Mr. Scott will put it away more times than not.
I'll be leaving shortly to get downstairs to interview the Hawk of the game. Now, I don't want any trouble like we had the last time I left early to get down to interview the Hawk of the game. When I left there, we were ahead. When I got down there, we were tied.
They'll try to deliver tonight, but 4:16 remaining. Boldirev winning a draw. Into Hawk ice, the voice is failing, but the spirit's still willing here at the microphone. Cliff Coyle sends it into Montreal ice. Lapointe ahead for Robinson. Canadians start back, trailing by 2. Lapointe in over the line. Montreal offside again as the Hawks are frustrating Montreal by standing up at that blue line, and Canadians have been offside time and time again. Scotty Bowman pacing behind the Montreal bench. Steve Shutt came off shaking his head after missing that good scoring opportunity. Hawks made a couple of dangerous rink-wide passes there, and one of them led to Steve Shutt scoring 10. 3:59 to go, third period. Montreal trailing Chicago 3-1. Jim Harrison out with Baldy and Bud Kelly. This line played aggressively their last time out. Hemming the play, and the Canadians going with big body checks, the order of the day. Montreal going with Napier, Mondu, and Risebrough up front. Clear to the Canadian defense. Now Bob Gainey out on the back line. Gainey playing defense with Serge Savard in a bit of a switch. Montreal bringing it in. Mondu for Napier, right wing. Big shot. Esposito with a save. He covers up. Great stop by Esposito. With a score, Chicago 3, Montreal 1. Let's pause for this message.
Wendy's presents hot and juicy hamburgers. Wendy's uses fresh meat, not frozen meat, that serves every hamburger hot off the grill, never pre-cooked. Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, juicy meat, juicy toppings, and lots of napkins.
Puck in the Montreal end. Pierre Mondu starting the rush after Dave Logan missed the scoring chance. 3-1 Chicago. Mondu end-to-end. Moving in right wing. Breaking along the boards. Shooting the left point for Gainey. Gainey couldn't hold it in. The puck jumped over his stick now. Mulvey has it for Chicago. He's checked by Mondu, who walks in, but Napier is offside on the right wing. 3:12 to go in the hockey game. Blackhawks 3, Montreal Canadiens 1. If the Hawks can hold on, this win will certainly more than make up for last night's poor showing in Detroit. In the process, if the Hawks can win, they'll take over sole possession of first place in the Smythe. Vancouver moved into a first-place tie with their win at Philadelphia tonight. Lemaire sends it in for Shutt. His pocket is picked by Marks. Marks has played a strong game tonight. Penalty killing and on Makita's left wing. Now Bordeleau dumps it into the Montreal zone. Guy Lapointe is back. Big drop for Lemaire. Lapointe starts it for Lemaire on the far wing. Lemaire sends it rink wide for Larry Robinson. 2:40 to play. Robinson stick handles across. He's back checked. Marks with a puck for Chicago. Blackhawks coming back well, covering those wings as they did not do last night in Detroit. Shot to center. Lapointe on the boards for Robinson. Robinson in his own zone for Guy Lapointe again. Lapointe firing from center, hit a Chicago skate. Near corner Lemaire, tipping it back to the net for Lafleur. Centering pass Russell there to clear it for Makita. Ahead for J.P. Bordeleau. One man to beat Guy Lapointe. Bordeleau moving in, he's puck shot. Now Lafleur in the Canadian zone. 2:05 to play. Chicago sitting on a 3-1 lead against the Stanley Cup champion Canadiens. Russell dumps it in. Dryden ranging out of his net against J.P. Bordeleau. They scramble in the near corner and hold for a face-off. Standing room only crowd of 17,223, largest crowd of the year. They have seen the best three-period effort by the Blackhawks this season. Last Sunday's 6-5 win over Boston was exciting, but there were a few rough edges defensively, certainly. Anytime you score 6 and give up 5, there are a few problems. Boldirev in the Montreal zone, he lost it. Canadians come out. Cornway takes a heavy body check from Wilson. Will have a penalty here on Chicago. Cornway was rammed by Doug Wilson there. Apparently the referee Newell judged that Cornway never touched the puck, although it seems that Cornway might have deflected it, thus he would have been the puck carrier, and that would have been a legal check. Let's see how they called it. If it's interference on Doug Wilson, they call it interference. That means that the referee Newell judged Cornway never touched the puck. Any infraction on a player not judged the puck carrier, any penalty against the player not the puck carrier or the last man to touch the puck is automatically interference, whether it's tripping, hooking, slashing, or whatever. You judge it interference if it's not the puck carrier. So Wilson gets a 2-minute minor to make the end of this game a bit hairier than many people here at the stadium might like. 1:45 to go. Wilson off. So interference. 3-1 Chicago leading. Face off in the Blackhawks zone. John Marks and J.P. Bordeleau, the penalty killing forward. They have a big assignment. Magnuson and Russell on the back line. Mondu to take the draw against John Marks. Puck cleared back to Lafleur on the right point. Across to Savard. Savard lost it. Marks intercepting. Dragging the play over the red line. He dumps it into the Canadian zone with 1:30 to play. Montreal with the man advantage as Regan Uhl comes out. Marks stripped him of the puck. Lafleur carries on. Lafleur setting up at the right point. Lafleur stick handling. Giving it in the right corner for Cornway. Cornway on the board. Lost it to Russell. He recovers. He gives it to Mondu. Centering through. He fanned on the shot. Now J.P. Bordeleau dumps the puck down the length of the rink. 1:05 to play. 3-1 Chicago. Montreal starting back. Less than a minute to go now. Lafleur from center. Murray blocked his shot up and out of play. Face off in center right. Superb effort by Chicago. Marks led the charge on the penalty killing tonight. Montreal scored that one power play goal. And the Hawks were 2 men short, but otherwise, Blackhawk penalty killing has been flawless. This is the 7th Montreal power play. 57 seconds remaining, 1:12 on Wilson's penalty. Chicago leading by 2 here at home, looking to remain unbeaten on their own ice. Lemaire's stick broken on the draw against Marks as Big John ripped the stick out of Lemaire's hand. Cleared down the length of the rink. Montreal with 6 attackers on. Their net is empty with Ryden on the bench. Chicago with a puck. Phil Russell firing it down in an empty net. The puck will go in. Empty net goal for Phil Russell. A 185-foot shot. Russell bounced it into an empty net. His second of the year. Chicago 4, Montreal 1. And last night's game in Detroit is just a bitter memory. Standing ovation for Phil Russell and the Blackhawks penalty killers. Chicago 4, Montreal 1. 37 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Chicago is sitting pretty now. 4-1 Blackhawks. 37 seconds to go. Here's the announcement on the PA system. Assisted by number 35, Tony Esposito. At 19:23. Russell from Esposito, the goalkeeper, at 19:23 into an empty net. 4-1 Chicago. 37 seconds to go. Wilson in the box for the Blackhawks. Well, it looks very much as if Chicago will win its 4th game of the year. The Blackhawks will increase their unbeaten streak on home ice to 6 at 3-0-3. And Chicago will retain sole possession of first of its ice, 2 points ahead of Vancouver. Puck in center, Robinson for Montreal. Fires it in far corner. Mark back of the net. Mark wasting the clock. Coming out of the fire wing. Mark finding an opening, slipping it out to neutral ice. Well, Robinson taps it for Guy Lapointe. 15 seconds to go. Hawks ahead 4-1. They will defeat Montreal for the first time in over 2 years. Out comes Lapointe. A standing ovation as the clock runs down. They're on their feet at the stadium. Bob Murray with a puck. It's all over. The Blackhawks pour off the bench to congratulate Tony Esposito. Played a superb game in the Chicago goal. Big win for the Blackhawks. Defeating Montreal 4-1. Bouncing back from last night's bummer. A 7-2 loss at Detroit. The Hawks win tonight. They help out the Red Wings. Detroit will remain tied for first, I should say, solely atop the North Division ahead of Montreal. Joined by Bob Glass of the Associated Press, the number 3 star Montreal, Guy Lapointe. The number 2 star of the game, Blackhawks, Tony Esposito. Star of the game, Chicago's Ivan Boldirev. Ivan Boldirev with 2 goals, including the game winner. The number 1 star, and he'll be our guest on Hockey the Game with Bud Kelly in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back to recap the 3rd period after these announcements.
Today there are several misunderstandings which are prevalent concerning the plastering industry. Among these are, plastering will hold back the completion of your home, or plastering is too expensive, or there aren't any plasterers available. The fact is that none of these myths are true. Plastering will not hold back the completion of your home. There are skilled plasterers available, and in the long run, plastering is the most economical wall and ceiling material you can have in that new home. Sincerely, the Chicago Plastering Institute. Olivia, want to drive up to Lookout Point and look out? Oh, boy. Oh, boy, I got a transmission problem. Want to talk about it? This car is so frustrating.
Come to AMCO. Last year, we got 1 out of 3 of our customers going again with only minor repairs.
Now that we're at Lookout Point, you know what I was thinking? Didn't AMCO do a great job on my car?
Wendy's presents hot and juicy hamburgers. Wendy's uses fresh meat, not frozen meat, and serves every hamburger hot off the grill, never pre-cooked. Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers, juicy meat, juicy toppings, and lots of napkins.
Here's a short note from the king of beer. It's the new Bud Half Pint. Ah, yes, a stroke of ingenuity. 8 easy-tasting ounces of the king of beers in an abbreviated can. Right, friend, when you want a lot of quality, a little at a time. When you say Bud Half Pint, you said it short. And I said, boy, St. Louis.
Chicago 4, Montreal 1. That's the final from Chicago Stadium. Canadians made it a bit hairy in the third period. Jacques Lemaire scored Montreal's only goal at 9:48. Canadians enjoyed 2-man advantage, but the Blackhawks managed to kill off the rest of Bobby Orr's penalty. Then played smart hockey down the stretch, protecting that lead. Finally, Phil Russell scored the final goal of the game into an empty net at 19:23. With Tony Esposito assisting, and the Hawks win it, defeating Montreal for the first time in 2 years. Chicago 4, and the Montreal Canadiens 1. This WCFL Chicago Blackhawks broadcast is brought to you by Dick McFeely Pontiac, 5300 North Broadway, where you can find the 79s at 78 places. Coming up next, the Hawk of the Game show with Bud Kelly.
I think it's time, Dad.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's time already? What do I do first?
I think we go to the hospital, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any time. Why are we stopping here?
I need some chicken. You know how food always calms my nerves?
It's a baby.
Welcome to Chicken Unlimited. Hi. Give me a 4-piece chicken dinner with everything and a couple extra plump legs, too. And hurry, and my wife's having a chicken. A baby. Having a baby? Well, then I'll make it real fast. To eat here or to go? To go. Here you go, sir. Chicken's all nice and fresh and hot. Hope it's a go. Good day. Hi, honey. See? Took just a second, just like I promised.
Daddy, do they have any milk?
Chicken Unlimited. Serving great tasting chicken just about everywhere. Fried chicken and sports. The winning combination. Start your tailgate picnic with Chicken Unlimited.
The Blackhawks bounce back superbly here on home ice with a 4-1 win over the Stanley Cup champion Montreal Canadiens. After last night's 7-2 Chicago loss in Detroit, the complete turnabout for the Hawks tonight. Our player of the game is Ivan Boldirev. 2 goals, including the game winner, and he continues to pace the Hawks in scoring. Let's go down to the dressing room where Bud Kelly is standing by with Ivan Boldirev.
Okay, we're down here, and Ivan is very busy at the moment, taking the tape off his left sock. Ivan, congratulations on a great game.
Thank you very much, Bud. It sure felt good to come back against the Canadiens after losing last night in Detroit badly.
Well, maybe, I don't know if there's an answer to this question or not, but against Boston last week, when you guys had 3 goals in 1 minute and 26 seconds and really turned it around and ended up winning 6-5, fantastic. And then Wednesday, Washington comes in, which should have been a soft touch, and you're ahead 2-0, and you end up having to accept the tie. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you, that's a good question. If somebody knew, they'd make themselves a lot of money, but
Hold on 1 second, Ivan. We're going to close the door here because I think there's radios on and we're getting feedback. There we go.
Well, it's, you come out against a team like Boston and Montreal, and I think for some reason you seem to get up more, and I don't, it's not right. We try to get up for each and every game, but, we come back on Boston, win that game, and then, like you say, Washington comes in and
and it's a game that we should win, and we come up flat, so there's no explaining.
How did you feel about the game tonight as far as the team effort is concerned?
Well, I thought this was our best game this year as far as the whole team. We played 3 solid periods, and up until now we've had a few games where we played in spurts, but I think as a whole tonight we played very well.
Yeah, there was one thing in spurts, I think it was Vancouver, where you had another one of those 2-minute and 1-second drills where you scored 3 times. And then it was a minute and 20 seconds against Boston. But tonight it was consistent all the way through. There was no let-up.
Right. Well, I think that's the way you have to play. If we can play, 3 solid periods each game and work hard, and that's what we want to play each game.
The penalty killing I thought tonight was fantastic also.
Yes, John Marks and J.P. Boyle are doing a heck of a job, and of course Cliff Carl and Sam Nikita.
Fantastic all the way around. Do you think that Tony Esposito will be happy about being a winning goaltender, or happier because he got an assist on the empty goal at the end?
Well, he'll probably be talking more about his assist, but no, he's happy to win the game, and he played fantastic.
Now we get another look at Vancouver on Wednesday. We're going to really be up for that, I trust.
Right. Well, they're right behind us, and they're a team in our division, so it's like a 4-point game, and it's a must-win. And I feel if we can carry our spirit over to win tonight, we should have a good game.
Well, you've led the team in scoring 2 years in a row. You're leading it again this year. You're 2 points, 2 goals tonight, which you tied with 5 other guys. Thinking about number 12 or 13 spot in the league overall. You happy with that?
Well, it's nice to get points and goals and that, but if I'm contributing to the team winning, that's the main part. And our objective is to win games, and I'm happy when I can score a goal and help the team to win.
One final note, and then we'll let you go. How much effect does the crowd have on you? Now, I mentioned we talked about Washington in comparison to Boston and Montreal, the way you guys played tonight, and the crowd was different for Boston and Montreal than they were for Washington. There were fewer of them to begin with, and they didn't get into the game as much either.
Yeah, right. Well, the crowd, I've always said that the crowd has a great effect on teams, and that's why you get some teams, really play well at home, and they don't play well on the road, and like you say, against Boston, we came out in that third period, and the crowd was screaming, yelling, they were really behind us. And the same thing tonight, and that gets you going, when you come out there and you see a full house and they're all on your side. It gives you a great feeling.
Well, they were with you tonight from the opening faceoff, or even before. They were coming and screaming before the game.
Right. In the warm-up, they were all cheering, so that's great.
You won in the warm-up.
Well, it wasn't that easy.
No, it sure wasn't. It was a tough game, and your opinion is the best the team has played together as a team all year.
Right.
And you were certainly fantastic as usual.
Thank you,
Ivan Boldirev, thank you. Pleasure to have you here. Okay, Andy, that's a mark of the game. Well-deserved honor for number 12, Ivan Boldirev, with the game-winning goal plus another one. And I guess it's back to you, pal.
Chicago 4, Montreal 1, a final from the stadium on 3 stars. Hawk of the game, Ivan Boldirev, picked number 1 with his 2 goals. Tony Esposito with 35 saves, 14 of those coming in the second period. The second star, the third star Montreal defenseman, Guy Lapointe, who lugged the puck well. Had about 6 shots on the net and played the best of any of the Montreal players on the back line. The Blackhawk wrap-up show next from the stadium. Stay with us. We'll be back after this message.
Hello, General Finance. Friendly Bob Adams speaking.
Friendly Bob?
That's right.
Good, because we need a friend.
Who is this?
Hey, funny thing. I was going to call last week about a loan for this vacation because I wasn't sure we had enough money.
Where are you?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Don't tell me you're lost.
Lost, Bob.
Where are you calling from?
Phone booth. We almost ran over it in the fog.
Where are you headed, Mr. Williams?
Well, when we ran out of vacation money, we started back. The fog came up Tuesday. Where was it Monday? Can you help us, Bob?
Can you see anything?
Yeah, the telephone, and if I squint, I can see Mrs. Williams. What the kid did? Bob, can you trace this call or something? Help, Bob.
You can always get a little help from a friend at General Finance.
There are 70 General Finance Chicago area offices. Call General Finance's friendly Bob Adams to borrow up to $10,000. Orlando over 3 2020. Also an office in Kankakee.
The Blackhawks back on the winning track after a short detour last night, losing 7-2 in Detroit.
The Hawks come up with their best three-period effort of the season with a 4-1 win this evening at home over the defending Stanley Cup champion Montreal Canadiens. The Blackhawks maintain a 2-point lead over Vancouver in the Smythe division. Chicago 4-1-3 now, 11 points, 2 ahead of the Canucks. Vancouver won on the road, beating Philadelphia 5-2 tonight at the Spectrum. So the Canucks are 2 points back. Chicago and Vancouver go head-to-head here at the stadium in a Smythe Division showdown this coming Wednesday. CFL airtime 7:25, face-off 7:30. Let's recap a very pleasant evening to Blackhawk fans. Chicago led 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. The only goal, Ivan Boldirev, his first of two, his fifth of the year, power play at 15:48. Chicago starts back. Coral sending off Boldirev. Boldirev, left circle, low shot. Power play goal for the Blackhawks. Boldirev took the shot. It may have been deflected, although it looked like a screen drive. And very possibly Ivan Boldirev will get his fifth of the year. Ivan has now scored a point in 6 consecutive games. Boldirev, a low shot from the left wing board with Weisbach putting out a high-sticking liner for Montreal. Boldirev is fifth from Coral and Wilson, 1-0 Blackhawks after one. Boldirev struck early again, his second goal that proved to be the game winner, 27 seconds of period 2. Boldirev in the right corner, out to Coral, back to Wilson, big shot, he fired it wide, Boldirev, a shot, he scores! Ivan Boldirev, scooping up the loose puck, off the rebound from the boards, firing it in past Dryden. Boldirev gets his second power play goal, and the Hawks take a 2-0 lead. Chicago made it 3-0 before the second intermission. Another power play score. This time the deep J.P. Bordeleau. Bob Murray coming out. Left wing pass for Marks. Then across. Marks gives it to Russell. Russell backhand shot. J.P. Bordeleau. From the far wing is Russell. Gave it to him across the goal crease. Bordeleau banged it in. Russell and Marks assisting. Russell gave it the spinorama in front of the goaltender, a backhand pass right through the goal crease. J.P. was there to bang it in. 3-0 Chicago after 2, the only Montreal goal. Jacques Lemaire, power play when Canadians enjoyed 2-man advantage at 9:48. Yvon Lambert and Guy Lapointe assisting on that. The Blackhawks settled the issue once and for all with 37 seconds left. The big guy, Phil Russell, fired one 185 feet from his own goal line into the unguarded Montreal net. As Ken Dryden had been pulled in favor of the sixth attacker, an empty net goal for Phil Russell to make the final 4-1. Lemaire's stick broken on the draw against Marks as Big John ripped the stick out of Lemaire's hand. Cleared down the length of the rink. Montreal with 6 attackers on. Their net is empty with Dryden on the bench. Chicago with a puck. Phil Russell firing it down in an empty net. The puck will go in. Empty net goal for Phil Russell. A 185-foot shot. Russell bounced it into an empty net. His second of the year. Chicago 4, Montreal 1. So the Blackhawks beat the Canadiens 4-1. The first time Chicago has defeated Montreal in 2 years. Blackhawks back in action Wednesday against Vancouver here at St. Louis Saturday, airtime 7:55. Back home a week from tonight to meet the revamped St. Louis Blues. Face-off will be 7:30 here at Chicago Stadium. Other finals, Vancouver defeated Philadelphia 5-2. The New York Rangers stayed hot. They dumped the Pittsburgh Penguins 3-2. Only 3 games scheduled on this date in the National Hockey League. Final score then from the stadium, Chicago 4, Montreal 1. Join us again Wednesday when the Hawks take on the Vancouver Canucks here at Chicago Stadium. CFL airtime 7:25. Our thanks to remote engineer Greg Stone, Ed Murphy, and Mike Rugen back at the studio. Statistician Jeff Lewis. I'm Andy MacWilliams, and good night from the stadium in Chicago.